Citi FM 97.3.
This sound is going around the world. Millions of people are going to be released.
This is Citi
These sounds are listening to all around the globe. Favor, 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 favor like a shield.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
He surrounds me like his shield, and need to cover me from now until the day I see my King. Lift your voice and shout favor. He surrounds me like a shield, need to cover me from now. Shout it louder, favor.
The Citi Breakfast Show, rise above the noise.
It will cover me from now until the day I see my King. The next one. It's surrounding from within. It is moving me from now until the day I see my King. A better power. It's surrounding from within. It is moving me from now. Are you sure? One more time, power. It's surrounding from within. It is moving me from now until the day I see my King. Fire, 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 fire. It is burning like a soul. It is driving me from now until the day.
The Citi Breakfast Show.
Shout fire! It is burning in my soul. And it is driving me from now until the day. One more time, fire! It is burning in my soul. It is driving me the next one now. Angels, they are all around me now, and they are following me from now to the day I see my King. Angels, they are all around me now. They are following me from now to the day I see my King. See what you are saying. You are surrounded, angels. They are all around me now. They are following me from now. They are following me from now. They are following you. One more time, shout it, angels. They are all around me now. They are following.
They are following me from now until the day I see my King. Come on. Confess it. Sing it.
Now wash away my sin, and it is opening doors for me. Mercy, mercy is opening doors. Favor. Just the voices.
Of all the things you could pray for, favor, 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 favor. I love favor. And this is a song that has a very important scripture that goes with it. Psalm 5 verse 11 and 12. It says, but let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy because you defend them. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. For you, O Lord, will bless the righteous, and with your favor you will surround him as with a shield. Which means favor on the left and the right, favor in the front, favor in the back, favor ahead, favor below. I love it. Pray for favor. Pray for wisdom. Pray for the grace to be excellent at the thing you've been asked to do, so it will bring benefit and blessing to your generation and the one that follows. This is Lawrence Oyo. Because it's favor. And the part is until the day. Fred need the Tejabano. Charlie, this is your song. It beat too much. This song was picked for me by my producer. He said this song, when you play it, it will open the doors. So we are playing it to open things. Hey, Fred. Charlie, Fred, he said, Charlie, we for fire. In fact, the day I came, he said, this song is the song we should play. So please look for it and play it. It's a nice song. Play it for your children. When you are going to work, play it. Favor. Well, this is how we choose to start the Citi Breakfast Show. It's Monday, the 7th day of April. And I just want to encourage you that favor is very essential. The Bible says in the book of Acts chapter 7 that the brothers moved with envy and sold Joseph as a slave. But God was with him and gave him favor and wisdom with Pharaoh. So I think that's so powerful, right? He got favor and wisdom. So if there's something you want your kids to have, pray for wisdom and favor. If you read Daniel chapter 1, the last few verses, verse 17 says, as for these 4 children, God gave them wisdom and favor in all learning and understanding, or favor and wisdom. There's all kinds of permutations of that you need for your life and your journey. And let it lead you, let it guide you, let it open doors for you. Yes, we work hard, but a day of favor is worth a lifetime of struggle. Oh yes, a day of favor is worth a life. In fact, there are days that your favor can open doors that you worked 20 years and you are not paid for it. So one day of favor can change all of that. I believe it. You can choose not to believe it. As for me, I believe it. As I believe it. So we are not saying don't work, but you can work, Charlie. And we are working. We are working, but we also need favor. You know, we need favor. Anyway, so we have the newspaper review segment. It's brought to us by Total Excellium, the additive enriched fuel with 3-in-1 action that cleans your engine, extends its life, and lowers your fuel consumption. With its cumulative work, it reduces your CO2 emissions. And of course, Fidelity Bank is also supporting the segment. Every goal deserves a chance to flourish, and every dream deserves the finance to fuel it to reality. Trust in Fidelity Bank to partner you. We are here for your journey. Believe with us. And enjoy the classic cola flavor. Perfect fit anytime. Delightful Piva Orange. Recognized with citrus flavor. Piva Tangy. Bursting with tangerine flavor. And more. Call 0550-032231. Piva Beverages. A taste you will love.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink, packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Oh, jump on now.
Go, the go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand they my go be inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small.
Go, the go.
Yo, Anna. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
My buddy, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh, you go work, but you know it's out there your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, oh, cause you know it's out there your side. And when you dream, no say I live for you. And when you hustle every day, when you wanna go, anything you do, I live for you. If I believe I live your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I live your side, fidelity.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi.
All right, so it's 6:37, and I welcome Caleb and Godfred with the newspaper headlines. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, Bernard.
It looks like April has started well.
Oh, yes.
The way you responded to the good morning.
Well, there's nothing we can do. The system is the system.
I like the way you attack the good morning.
We are forcing it.
Energy.
We are giving the people of Accra, the people of Kumasi, the people of Cape Coast, the people of Tamale, the people of Damongo, the people of Takrady. We are giving you fire.
And favor.
Like the fire that the man gave.
Yes, because if you do not face the weak with fire,
I tell you,
Charlie, you'll be doused with water.
Let's get into the headlines.
Chronicle this morning, MPP followers should not despair. This is Osahene Alexander Panyomakin speaking. An alleged cocaine at KIA or Sofo tender will be arrested if he fails to cooperate with NIB. This is Kwachu Fosu. And then also 693 coins missing from GRA tax default list. This is MFTA, Ministry of what? MFT, I'll get to that short.
Yes, on the front page of the Daily Graphic this morning, the big story: fake gold currency bust, BOG money boxes found at crime scene. This according to National Security. President nominates 81 for second batch of MMDCs.
Ghanaian publisher suspicious flight saga. NPP tightens news on Bahamas CSOs. Others demand full disclosure. We will rise again. Apenyo marking rallies party faithfuls, and 7 sparks feed over 400 street children in Accra. Dirty agenda against Rage medical director exposed.
Front page of the Inquisitor this morning: MPP Rock City retreat. Nanado in mischief against Dr. Bawumia.
Hey, baby.
Hey. Wrote at TDC uncovered VRS CEO upbeat about Ghana's energy security. Omane Boama flays in Team Fojo over lies.
Daily analyst, power play at Ridge Hospital, medical director under attack for fighting corruption. Government denies drug smuggling at claims at KIA, releases videos and pictures. And CDM mounts pressure on government to produce suspicious flights. Saga BOG MPC rate of 28% abnormal. This is IPPA declaring. And strange skin disease hits Mapa Avatakbo. And then good news for NHIS card holder, service suspension called off by an association.
The front page of the Herald this morning, more ECG skeletons under Dubik Mahama out. Private jet, $25 million hotel deal inflated, $43 million exchange rate scandal come crawling. National security trails SAPEM and counterfeit cash and gold syndicate kingpin. Cash for contracts controversy rocks NMC's reappointment of GBC boss. Workers allege inducement. Chinese companies pledge responsible, sustainable mining in Ghana. A Akufo-Addo cabinet insider gets Mahama appointment. NPP rattled by political identity.
Interesting. The Informer this morning, Iyoko probes rot at TDC. MD warns against pleas. And we are told Talency NDC is in turmoil over nomination of alleged Galamsey DCE. Now, Bawumia is urging NPP unity, applauds mighty minority for keeping the government on its toes. And 2 aircrafts and drug saga. Security Dawn calls for circumspection. And there is danger, we are told. Private health facilities cancel NHIS service. Okay,
Finally,
while another paper says there is good news, this one says there is danger.
Finally from me, Bernard, the front page of the Daily Guide reports that Zoom Lion Land Gas destroyed Turkish investors' property. Senior high school student shoots colleague with pistol. And then ECG is on the front page. And then government meets U.S. envoy over 10% tariff.
The New Center, CDS urges Mahama to reject petitions against EC boss. NPP grills government over $452.1 million cocaine plane saga. Jail locals but deport foreigners. Mahama's controversial anti-Galamsey policy sparks outrage. And MTN Ghana CEOs are urging the assembling of smartphones in Ghana to boost digitalization drive. NDC is hot over Kotoka Airport cocaine saga. CDM joins free. This is the Daily Gist. Mahama sacks government statistician, GMA director. National security rates Bawumia's ADC house. Confusion rocks Galamsey fight, we are told. And OSP assigns 5 top officials to probe Gordon's useless case. Government threatens whistleblower in Team Fojo.
Have you done the news center
Yes,
already?
please.
Oh, let me take you online. I'll just add a couple of stories. So, City Newsroom lead story is the SAPEM and fake gold bust. National Security is actively tracking the mastermind, according to Richard Jakba. Now, there's a story I have here that you haven't read. Cement shortage hits retailers hard as clinker crisis deepens. I'll give you details of this. Also, ignore Ghanaian evil propaganda. Prof. Opoku Agyeman is doing well. This is Ablakwa speaking in relation to the Vice President health. And then, this is a very, very disturbing story. 30-year-old pregnant woman killed by truck. And she also is a mother of 2 or 3. Family demands justice. This is from Ahafo. Very, very, very sad story. It was on the news last night. And then private health facilities are justifying their decision to suspend services over NHIS arrears. So private health facilities are not happy this morning. Now, I'll take you to a few more websites quickly. If you go to my journal online this morning, they are also leading with the National Security Discovery Bank of Ghana cash boxes as SAPEMAN. There's a new Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. So that's something we should look out for. He's in the person of Reverend Stephen Wilfred Arthur. And then Ghana can't be a cocaine coast, CDM to Mahama. And then EduWatch, as you read, they want no people's exempted from examination due to exam fees.
Yeah.
Then if you go to Channel 1 News, stay hopeful. We are reorganizing. This is Apenyo Marking speaking to MPP Faithful. And then the national security stories are all there. And the MPP to present 26 questions to government over drug trafficking allegations today.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, 26 questions. In fact, I've seen some of the questions that have been
What are the questions?
circulated. We can go through them for you this morning.
Okay.
Let's get into the details.
Okay, then let's deal with all these national security matters.
Yes.
Fake currency, where's Alaji? On the front page of the Daily Graphic, national security is probing the mysterious circumstances under which a syndicate, which was recently busted over fake currencies and gold bars in Accra, was in possession of exclusive Bank of Ghana boxes. Operators of national security uncovered several official Bank of Ghana money boxes at the syndicate's operations center, Sapeman, in the Greater Accra region of the Accra and Sewam Road. Off the Accra and Sewam Road. Authorities have since verified that those boxes labeled exclusive to the Bank of Ghana were not replicas, but genuine BOG property. The director in charge of special operations at the National Security Secretariat, Richard Jakpa, told journalists during an exclusive tour of the supposed crime scene that national security was on the heels of the ringleader of their syndicate.
There are other angles to this. So, for example, there's a video that we have in our possession that has Mr. Jakpa explaining what they found and questioning how the issue had evolved and basically saying that they would get to the bottom of the issue.
Yeah.
And don't forget, this matter broke up a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and we had asked for an update. Then there's all the confusion around
Team Fojo.
Team Fojo and the two aircraft.
You have questions. You have the questions.
Yeah, I'll come to that short. I wanted Caleb to give us what the newspapers are saying.
So on
first.
Intim Fojo, though, software tender will be arrested. Maxwell Ofori is writing for the Chronicle. The John Mahama government is not yielding on its quest to force the Member of Parliament for Asin South in the Central Region, Reverend John Intim Fojo, to produce the evidence to back the cocaine and money laundering allegations he has made against the government. According to the Minister for Government Communications, Felix Kwachofosu, the MP will be arrested by the National Investigation Bureau if he tries to evade the probe. The Minister for Government Communications spoke on Eyewitness News on Citi FM, where he disclosed plans of the government to get the MP to produce evidence to back his claims.
And then the New Patriotic Party say they will present 26 questions to government over drug trafficking allegations today. According to the party general secretary, Justin Kudefripo, in an interview on Channel 1 News, the MPP has compiled 26 critical questions that will be presented to the government during a meeting at the party headquarters today, Monday, April 7. Quote, there are about 26 questions that we are asking the government to explain. We will make that 26 questions available to the people of Ghana, he said. He didn't list the questions here, but I've seen some questions circulating on social media, supposedly being the questions that the MPP is going to put out. Then there were lots of interviews over the weekend on this matter. For example, if you take the Informer, they are saying that 2 aircraft and drug saga, Security Dawn calls for circumspection. I'm reading page 4. They are saying renowned security consultant Professor Emmanuel Kwesianin has called on those entrusted with very sensitive information to be extra cautious in handling such information in order not to jeopardize state security and compromise investigations. According to him, the fact that people have access to and clearance on sensitive information should not mean such information should be handled indiscriminately. His caution comes in the wake of the recent allegations made by Asin South MP, Reverend John Tim Fojo, that 2 aircraft, an air ambulance and a private jet that landed in Ghana in early March and departed from Gran Canaria on March 25 were carrying drugs and cash. And then he goes on to elaborate on the points. So, where else are we going this morning?
Okay, a couple of other stories. I'll take you to the Daily Guide, story on page 3. Remember the opioids that came into Ghana and were seized? Well, the Health Ministry, in collaboration with the Food and Drugs Authority, has safely disposed of a significant consignment of opioids that were seized at the Tema Port at a private incinerator, Vigor EW Enterprise Ashaman, on April 4. The operation, directed by a court order, was carried out with the joint efforts of the National Intelligence Bureau, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Customs Division. So the seized shipment included 26 cartons of Rahul Tapentadol, 160 cartons of Tafradol, goes on to list others. Addressing the press, the Minister of Health, Kwabena Minta Kando, said on March 14, customs officials intercepted a suspicious consignment of opioids purportedly in transit from Ghana to Niger. The question I'm asking is, have they made any progress on who imported the drugs, who was supposed to clear it, and that sort of thing before destroying it? Because otherwise, if it goes to court.
Yeah, it's a very important point, and I think today we have to sort of itemize some of these busts and what happens. So usually there's an arrest or some discovery of something untoward, and then sort of we don't hear anything else.
Yeah, what we see, we seem to be able to intercept the goods, but never catch the people.
Or never give the public the details of what else is found. That's the issue. Now,
let's go on.
Cement shortage hits retailers hard as clinker crisis deepens. I'll bring you that before Caleb goes back to some controversial stories around institutions that are being investigated. So some cement dealers across the country are raising concern over a growing shortage of major cement brands, attributing the disruption to critical scarcity of clinker, a key raw material in cement production. In the past 2 to 4 weeks, brands such as Soul Cement, Empire Cement, and Jata Cement have become increasingly difficult to find. This comes on the heels of a 9 CD price hike on all cement products, largely driven by rising port charges. Retailers say their inability to restock has had immediate consequences, including turning away customers and losing revenue. Augustine Edufo, a cement retailer with over a decade of experience, voiced his frustration in an interview with Citi Business News. Another dealer, Isaac Frimpong, reported that he has been out of stock of the 32.5 grade of Gasem for several weeks. The clinker shortage is being caused by overseas supply issues. Even the recent price hikes are tied to external factors. We hope the government intervention, the situation will stabilize, he said. Then there are other people who were interviewed. In response to the crisis, Emmanuel Cherry of the Chamber of Construction Industry is pushing for broader stakeholder dialogue to explore local alternatives to clinker.
In the meantime, Bernard, I'm picking up information that some sensitive product from the Accra brewery is there is shortage of that. You know, the
if you have the details of that, if you don't have the details, just tell me what you have.
Okay.
If you don't,
it was just on shortages, but I'm sure the Accra brewery people know.
Don't titillate us.
Okay.
Stay with the papers and give me what.
So the medical director of the Great Accra Regional Hospital, RAGE, is under attack for fighting corruption. Daily Analyst is saying they have uncovered a grand scheme to tarnish the professional image and integrity of Reverend Dr. Ralph Ama, the current medical director of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. The plot has been hatched by some corrupt elements within and outside the hospital who, sensing that their actions will come to light, have embarked on a smear campaign against him. It goes on to say that, for example, the doctor has stopped the corrupt practice of staff extortion of patients, ensured strict financial discipline, adherence to transport policy, sending offenders for disciplinary hearings, dealing with staff causing medical suits and stopping questionable allowances. And so this is their plot to draw the government's attention with these allegations. Another insider review. Now we are told that the patient was made to pay about $7,000 at a private facility, and usually the patients are sent to this particular private facility to be making some huge payments for some essentials that may exist in the hospital, and then when the treatments go awry, then they ask them to make payments.
So payments are patients complain about this.
Exactly.
Right. Now this is the Daily Analyst. Now still on health, private health facilities are cancelling NHIS services. Basically, according to them, this is necessary following government's huge indebtedness to its members, in spite of numerous engagements with government for the payment of services which did not yield any positive results. Then still on probes, Ioko probes wrote at TDC. MD warns against pleas. So the Economic and Organized Crime Office will soon commence investigations into the rot and other shady deals at Tema Development Corporation following massive underhand dealings and corruption-related activities at the state entity under the leadership of erstwhile MD. The MD of TDC, Correct Kafui Nunekbeku, who revealed the extent of the rot at the staff there, but said a formal invitation had been extended to Anti-Graft Agency to get more information.
Let me give you a raft of stories from the Herald newspaper, Bernard. This morning on this front page, talks about cash for contracts, controversy rocks, NMC's reappointment of GBC boss. The paper is reporting that at the center of the row is the NMC's decision to renew the contract of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation's Director General, Professor Amin Alassane, despite his tenure officially ending on October 1, 2023. According to the report, the move has drawn criticism following revelations that members of the NMC received payments for activities many argue fall outside the Commission's constitutional remit. Now, there's also a story on a new acting government statistician, Dr. Alhassan Idrisu, on page 4 of the Herald newspaper. Akufo-Addo cabinet insider gets Mohammed's appointment, so you can get a copy of the Herald. And then also, Bernard, this one caught my eye over the weekend. The formation and launch of the Association of China-Ghana Mining.
Are you serious?
And this Chinese companies pledge responsible, sustainable mining in Ghana.
Were you there?
I wasn't invited.
Well, usually you would have been.
I'm not in mining.
No, but you are in China.
There was a meeting of only big people.
At least, even if you are not in mining, you have some Chinese roots.
Yes.
So
Bernard.
So who was there?
Everybody was there.
And what were they discussing?
So basically, they were discussing sustainable mining. They were discussing partnerships. Ministers were there. CEOs were there. I mean, it was a big event.
Two stories from the news center for me this morning. E-levy refund would take full effect today. So the EMIs, that is Electronic Money Issuers Chamber of Ghana, has announced that all e-levy charges applied to transactions on Wednesday, April 2, 2025 will be refunded by Monday, April 7, 2025. This follows a directive from the Ghana Revenue Authority instructing all charging entities to halt the application of the electronic transfer levy in line with the government's decision to abolish the tax through the passage of the Electronic Tax Levy Repeal Act 2025 Act 1128, and 3 ministries to engage U.S. ambassador over the 10% tariffs today. So the government of Ghana is taking swift diplomatic steps to respond to the recent imposition of a 10% universal tariff by the United States government on all imports, including those from Ghana. In response, the ministers of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Finance and Foreign Affairs will meet the U.S. ambassador to Ghana today for a proactive diplomatic meeting, we are told.
A rather sad story from Kumasi over the weekend on page 6 of the Daily Guide. A student at the Adventist Senior High School in Kumasi who perhaps wanted to show off by taking his father's gun to school has ended up shooting another student, causing facial injuries to her. The suspect, a second-year student, took his father's locally manufactured pistol to school without his father's knowledge last Friday.
Then there's also a very tragic story of a truck killing a pregnant woman. This story is on Channel 1 News, and I thought it was just very, very sad indeed. And I'm just going to read 2 highlights of that story for you. Give me a quick second to restore the story. But it was really tragic. It happened in the Ahafu region, where you had a 30-year-old pregnant woman with a truck running on top of her, basically, and then it killed her, and the family is just asking for justice. So it says a 30-year-old pregnant woman, Susanna Fusua Jeman, tragically died after an articulated truck carrying wood struck and killed her. The incident occurred at 4:30 p.m. on Friday, April 4, at Nobeko in Asnafu South of Ahafu. Her body was basically torn in pieces, right? And an eyewitness described the scene and basically said that the accident was quite terrible. And her mother was also speaking to the media and was basically asking for help.
Well, Bernard, let me wrap it up with a quick headline from page 13 of the Daily Graphic. The president has nominated 81 as part of a second batch of MMDCs. This represents nominees for Upper West, Central, Western, Upper Eastern, Northern. The Great Accra, when are they getting here?
Final one from me. Ayokobotre pays courtesy call on King Charles. So, Madam Shelley Ayokobotre, the new Commonwealth Secretary General, has paid a courtesy call on King Charles, the head of the Commonwealth, at Windsor Castle in London. Madam Botre, former Ghanaian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, officially assumed office as Secretary General of the Commonwealth on April 1, 2025, pledging to advance the values of the Commonwealth Charter in a world marked by rising tensions.
It's also a good thing for Ghana. It's also a good thing to have Ghana's former foreign minister now heading the Commonwealth. It will give Ghana a lot of brownie points. So we wish Shaya Okobochi the best.
But why do we call? Why is everyone called Charles called Chassis?
I don't even know.
Chassis.
Thank you, gentlemen. That was the newspaper review. Coming up next is the Citi Business News.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
I would up on the beat. Fim, where my chat bar? Turn up.
It's an interactive show. Let's hear from you on WhatsApp 054-998-6996. Your favorite radio show in the morning is live from Accra. There's business news next. There's also sports. Some big interviews coming your way on all the controversy over cocaine, opioids, the port, fake currency, gold bars. We have an update on a very important road for you. Those of you who've been complaining about the Fanco road, we have some highlights for you this morning. But every day people face different emergencies, police emergencies, fire emergencies, medical, you name it. But many Ghanaians don't know the emergency numbers. Well, here's one you'd want to remember. *770#. Yes, it's the new EcoBank money emergency number. Gives you instant access to loans, funds transfers, utility payments, airtime, and data purchases, and so much more, even without data. EcoBank will always come to your rescue. So dial *770# for solutions to your money emergencies. EcoBank is the Pan-African Bank. Nashika CISO is here with the Citi Business News. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil and EcoBank. I'm Nashika CISO. Coming up, Bank of Ghana to auction $120 million to bulk oil distribution companies in the second quarter of 2025. Also coming up, Ghana Stock Exchange records strong start to 2025 as several listed companies record significant growth in first quarter. And later, Tema Oil Refinery exceeds its revenue targets for February 2025, generating $2.9 million. Let's settle for the details of our stories now. The Bank of Ghana BOG is set to auction $120 million to bulk oil distribution companies BDCs in the second quarter of 2025. This forms part of its broader strategy to ease foreign exchange, demand pressures and support the stability of the Ghana cedi. More in the following report by Daniel Sakiti.
The auction calendar, scheduled across 6 days from April to June, are exclusively for bulk oil distribution companies to secure dollars for petroleum imports, a key driver of forex demand in the country. Each auction will offer $20 million, bringing the total allocation for the second quarter to $120 million. The auctions form part of a targeted interventions by the central bank to manage volatility in the foreign exchange market, especially in the downstream petroleum sector, where demand for dollars is typically high. According to the published calendar, the first auction is set for 10th April, with subsequent auctions on 29th April, 14th May, 28th May, 12th June, and 26th June. Bids are to be submitted by authorized foreign exchange dealing banks on behalf of BDCs during the designated hours on each auction day. The central bank has urged all authorized dealers to strictly adhere to all auction guidelines available on its website.
You heard the Citi Business News' Daniel Sakiti with that report. Now, the Ghana Stock Exchange saw a strong start to 2025, with several listed companies recording significant growth in the first quarter. EcoBank Transnational Incorporated led the pack with a 174.19% rise in its share price, moving from 31 pesos to 85 pesos. Over 3.2 million shares were traded, valued at more than 3.3 million Ghana cedis. We have more in this report.
Coal Bank followed with 114.6% increase, with its stock price climbing from 35 pesos to 75 pesos. It recorded a trading volume of 14.4 million shares, generating over 6.7 million Ghana cedis. Clydenstone also achieved a 100% growth, doubling its value from 3 pesos to 6 pesos. Total Energies posted an 83.54% gain, rising from 13 cedis 12 pesos to 24 cedis 8 pesos. The energy stock 228 shares traded, valued at over 881,000 Ghana cedis. Other strong performers included SIC Insurance, which rose by 81.48%, and Access Bank, which gained 74.42%. In all, the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index went up by 27.19% for the year to date, while the Financial Stock Index climbed 28.5%. Despite the gains, several stocks recorded no price movement during the first quarter, including Fan Milk, ADB, and Cocoa Processing Company Limited. Market watchers expect continued activity in the second quarter as listed firms begin to publish results for the first 3 months of the year.
That was Emmanuel Opong with that report. Moving on, the Commerce Division of the Tema Oil Refinery Tour has kicked off 2025, exceeding its February revenue target. The division generated $2.9 million, more than double the initial target of $1.2 million, marking the highest monthly revenue in the refinery's last 3 years. Daniel Odru-Mensah has more in the following Business Desk report.
This milestone, according to the refinery, is as a result of strategic planning, increased inflows, and improved product storage capabilities. The leadership attributes the success to the unwavering dedication of the commerce, maintenance, finance, and safety teams who have remained focused on optimizing TOR's assets and maximizing profit opportunities. Officials say the achievement not only strengthens TOR's financial standing but also sets a new benchmark for performance in the months ahead. The Commerce Division is now poised to build on this momentum to sustain growth and drive future successes in the refinery's terminal business. Management has lauded the efforts of all departments involved and stressed that this milestone underscores TOR's long-term commitments to operational excellence and financial resilience.
Daniel Odru-Mensah with that Business Desk report. Now, the government has fallen short of its T-bills target for the third week in a row, missing it by 2.69 billion Ghana cedis. According to the latest data from the Bank of Ghana, the government sought to raise 4.39 billion Ghana cedis, but received bids totaling 1.69 billion Ghana cedis, resulting in an undersubscription of 61.46%. Despite this, the government rejected 2.37 billion Ghana cedis in bids. Interest rates on T-bills also continued to trend between 15% and 18%. The 91-day yield declined by 6 basis points to 15.65%, while the 182-day bill fell by 23 basis points to 16.50%. The 364-day bill dipped by 2 basis points to 18.83%. This development follows the BOG's recent decision to raise the policy rate to 28%. In the next auction, the Treasury aims to raise 6.68 billion Ghana cedis. Now, the Bank of Ghana has assured the Ghana Union of Traders Association of its commitment to sustaining a stable macroeconomic environment despite the challenges facing the economy. This was said at an engagement with the union to discuss the impact of recent monetary policy decisions on businesses. Acknowledging concerns raised by the business community over the effects of rising borrowing costs and broader economic challenges, Dr. Philip Abradu, Director of Research, highlighted key points that have necessitated the central bank's proactive policy stance.
There were 4 main concerns of the central bank. The first concern was that the inflation levels were too high, and they've been stuck around 23% for 2 years. If you look through the food and then the non-food components, you realize it's a food problem. The food is as high as 28% as at the time we were having that meeting. And then the non-food was at 18%, but food at almost 30%. The second reason was on liquidity. We have liquidity that sits with the banking system, and then we have liquidity in the rest of the economy. The liquidity we are talking about is liquidity with the banking system. For the past 3 months, seen heavy doses of liquidity in the banking system. We saw some fiscal slippages in the last quarter of the year. November, December, there was heavy spending towards the election. Then come January, there were also some heavy payments that were made. This liquidity in the banking system is looking for work to do. So the liquidity keeps moving around, and the central bank needs to act fast.
Dr. Philip Abroduotu is the Director of Research at the Bank of Ghana. Now, the ministries of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Finance and Foreign Affairs are scheduled to engage the U.S. ambassador to Ghana today over the 10% tariff imposition. The U.S. announced on April 2, 2025 that a 10% tariff would be applied universally on imports from all nations, including Ghana, effective April 5, 2025. However, goods already in transit before the effective date will be exempt. In addition to the universal tariffs, reciprocal tariffs ranging from 11% to 50% will take effect on April 9, 2025, targeting over 50 countries. Now, Carl Bank PLC has announced the appointment of Daniel Nikwe Kumasaki as chairman of the board of directors effective March 2025. This follows the approval by the Bank of Ghana and endorsement by shareholders. He succeeds Joe Mensah, who served as chairman since 2019. Daniel Nikwe Kumasaki, a seasoned banking executive with over 30 years of experience, in a statement expressed gratitude and optimism about leading the board during this time. Carl Bank's renewed leadership comes amid strong financial resilience and a focus on long-term growth. Other newly appointed board members include Johnson Delali-Owari, who is the new executive director, and Deputy MD Kwajo Branchu Impieni, Yvonne Ofusuapia, and Jared Mola. Now let's have a quick market check on the currency board across some forex bureaus, and the dollar is going for 15 cedis 50 pesos, while the British pound is going for 19 cedis 50 pesos. The euro is going for 16 cedis 50 pesos. Remember that these are the rates being offered by the forex bureaus to the public. And that's all for the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, and EcoBank. I'm Nasika Caesar. Many thanks for your company. Do have a great business day.
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Wale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
It's 11 after 7, and we're bringing you Kickoff. Gabi Affair is here.
You do me bad then.
Kickoff is brought to you by Lesheho, Zonda Ghana Limited, and Shell. The Lesheho Don't Commit campaign has come to you because you deserve financial peace. Life comes with financial challenges, but with Lesheho, you don't have to face them alone. From now until April 30, 2025, we've reduced our interest rates just for you, whether it's education, rent, or unexpected expenses. We've got the right loan to meet your needs. Simply WhatsApp or call Nana on 0270-040-799 or 0270-040-733. Let's make life easier together. Act now before the offer ends. T&C supplies. Let's share whole, let's improve life. It's Gabby's favorite tune on the mornings. Monday morning, good morning to you, my friend.
Good morning, Caleb.
Charlie, how have you been?
I'm good. It's always good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. Likewise.
Well, how's the weekend, though?
It was cool. It was normal. Cool. Taking things easy.
Yeah, I can see that. Always, Did you follow the Premier League?
Oh, quite. Charlie.
You're not really a fan of
football.
No,
I don't try with football.
Just the Black Stars.
I'll spend my time watering plants than watch football.
You like a lot of plants?
I kind of do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to come for some.
It's a great
class
hobby.
lessons.
It's a great hobby. But tell me what's in the news.
It's Chiesa. It's now or never. And it's going to be never. Liverpool's long, unbeaten Premier League run is ended.
Right, now the results Liverpool would have hoped for at the Craven Cottage. He ended 3-2 for Fulham. It was match week 31 in the English Premier League at Old Trafford. A stalemate between the two Manchester teams, United and City, sharing the spoils in what has been described as one of the boring Manchester derbies. All of that plus some updates from the Black Queens, who are prepping for the upcoming Women's AFCON in July. We're on the wings of Zonda GH shall go well, and Lesheho, let's improve life. Alright, I am Gabi Ofer. Let's start off with some women's football, and we have just over 3 months to go for the Women's African Cup of Nations, set to kick off in Morocco later in July. Now, Ghana's Black Queens are among the 12 teams vying for the title, and they are in Group C. They will take on South Africa, Mali, and Tanzania in the tournament. Now, the Queens are in Senegal as we speak for the two friendlies against the Teranga Lionesses, and on Saturday, the Black Queens won by 1-0, and will face them again later tomorrow in the second leg. Kimlas Bjorkegren is the head coach for Ghana's Black Queens.
Of course, it's professional football. You're always happy when you win. For us, it was the one of the most important thing to win the game. We knew before the game it was a tough game for us, a tough away game. We knew that Senegal can be physical. I felt the start was pretty good. I would say the first 30 minutes. We also scored the goal, beautiful one, I think, and exactly how we want to play with a perfect cross. And Evelyn came from a number 10 position with a great header. So I think we started the game pretty well. I felt in the end of the first half that we were coming in a little bit to the physical style with more stops, more like the Senegal way to play in this game. So we actually talked about it in halftime that we needed to play football on the ground, play a little bit faster again.
All right, Kim Las Bjorkegren also shared his thoughts on coaching in Africa after facing off against Morocco, which ended in a loss and the team's win against Senegal.
I mean, I think it's to be a part of the African football. If I'm talking overall, it's something that I'm really enjoying, and there are the football here is beautiful. I love it. Maybe sometimes tactical, not perfect, but it's beautiful. So many good players. There's good on the ball, the movement. I'm from Sweden. We can't do 50% of the things that many players here can do. But if I compare, for example, with some European team, they are maybe a little bit better tactical, I would say. So with the ball, maybe a little bit better tactical, things to learn.
Black Queens head coach Kimlas Bjorkegren speaking after the team's 1-0 win against the Teranga Lionesses in Senegal. They'll take on that same team later tomorrow. So we'll keep you up to speed or bring you closer to what happens in that game. Well, away from that, let's touch on the Ghana Premier League. And Heart of Lions missed the chance to close the gap on leaders Asante Kotoko after playing out a 1-0 draw with the Porcupines at the Pando Sports Stadium. Yes, Heart of Lions' head coach, Bashe Hayford.
We'll take it like that. They fought very hard. We made everything to make sure we beat them. But the first goal they got made us, fight from behind. So it's good. It's good. It was a tough match. So somebody who has fallen once for you, he will not come here for the second time. But it's okay. The boys fought very well. The goal didn't come. We splitted the point. So we take it like that.
All right, so that's Heart of Lions head coach Bashe Hayford speaking there. Well, Kotoko remain top of the league standings with 46 points and face Bichim United in their next fixture. Here's Prosper Natogum.
I think we look slow. We look very slow. We look very tired on the foot. I think the stress of the journey, I mean, from Kumasi to Enyinase, about 9 hours. We played on Sunday, traveled another 10 hours or 9 hours to Accra to play on Wednesday. That was on Monday. And then from Wednesday we had to travel all the way from Accra to Kumasi. So, it's been three games in 7 days. And you could see that they were tired.
All right, so that's Kotoko's head coach Prosper Nate Ogum speaking there. Well, BBN Gold Stars' hope of moving to the top of the table also suffered a setback as they lost to Dreams FC by 2-0 at the Tuba AstroTurf. Defending champion Samatex 1996 inflicted a painful 2-1 defeat on Accra Lions at the St. Trey Sports Arena. And for Heart of Oak, they marked their return to the Accra Sports Stadium with a narrow win over Mediama Sporting Club. Rafael Ponce's goal was the difference maker on the day as the Phobians claimed a 1-0 win over Mediama SC. Later today, Nations FC take on Kerala United at 3 p.m. as part of the GPL matches. Well, for the top 4 standings, Kotoko still top, 46 points. Biani Gold Stars 44, Heart of Lions 41. Heart of Oak do have 40 points. That's it for the top 4 teams. In the under-17 AFCON in Morocco, yesterday marked the start of the final round of group matches with several spots in the quarterfinals, and the World Cup still up for grabs. Now, some teams have already punched their ticket to the next stage, as well as their slots at the World Cup in Qatar later this year. Now, 10 teams from Africa will represent the continent at the World Cup. Morocco finished top of Group A after securing a commanding 3-0 victory over Tanzania to advance to the quarters, and as well as the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. A crucial strike from Bilal Daka in the closing stages also saw Zambia advance to the quarterfinals at the expense of Uganda. Egypt are also through. Burkina Faso finished the group stages unbeaten with their latest win against South Africa. That game ended 2-0, but South Africa managed to qualify to the quarterfinal despite the defeat. Later today, we have some 4 games happening. Angola take on Central African Republic at 4 p.m. Mali will take on Ivory Coast. Gambia up against Tunisia. And then Senegal, who are the defending champions, will face Somalia at 7 p.m. So that's it for the under-17 AFCON. Let's get to the English Premier League. Alright, so Manchester United and Manchester City played out an uninspiring goalless draw that underlined the need for change at both clubs this summer. A draw keeps United anchored in the middle of the lower half of the table, but for City, they are now sweating on a Champions League spot, remaining in 5th, which would almost certainly be enough. But with Newcastle 2 points behind them with 2 games in hand. We hear from the 2 managers. First off, Pep Guardiola, followed by United's Ruben Amorim.
Of course, it would be better to win, but Old Trafford is Old Trafford, and always you have been a good performance. And now United was the transition team, like before we rush for Garnacho and play quick. Ruben was going to try to make a good build-up, a good process. I think we defended really well. Defensively, of course, all the situations was, well linked with Højlund and switch of play, and after they are dangerous, and especially when you lose the ball in the positions like we are not good, they could run, and it was dangerous for that. But always we had our chances.
Yeah, I think, again, we created some chances. The game was completely different from Nottingham, of course, against a different opponent, but we had the same lack of goal. We create situations. Sometimes we did it well, and Ederson was there. So it's really important to score goals to win football matches.
All right, so that's the 2 managers. First, you had Pep Guardiola of Manchester City, followed by United's Ruben Amorim. At the Craven Cottage, Liverpool's 26 match unbeaten run in the Premier League came to an end as Fulham beat them by 3-2. Liverpool stayed 11 points clear at the top with 7 games remaining and need a maximum of 11 more points to secure a record equaling 20th league title. Here is Liverpool's Arne Slot.
Obviously, a disappointing outcome. Not often that Liverpool concede 3 times in 15 minutes. What happened in that spell of the game?
And not often that we concede 3 goals, let alone in one game, let alone in 15 minutes. And then, if you look at the goals we conceded, I think all 3 of them, we could have prevented it. Yeah, that is not what we usually see, and that's probably also the reason why we are where we are. Because if you make these mistakes more often in a league like this, you will not be having the amount of points we are having at the moment.
All right, so that's Liverpool's Arne Slot speaking after the 3-2 loss to Fulham at the Craven Cottage. Well, Southampton suffered their earliest relegation in the Premier League history after Brennan Johnson double inspired Spurs to a comfortable 3-1 victory in North London. Chelsea rang the changers and failed again to fire as their bet to reach next season's Champions League hits another bump with a draw at Brentford. Arsenal were also held to a 1-1 draw by Everton. Later today, Leicester will take on Newcastle United at the King Power Stadium at 8 p.m. Alright, so let's get to Spain, and Hugo Darro's stoppage time winner for Valencia stand Real Madrid as the host lost ground in the La Liga title race. Leaders Barcelona also drew 1-0 with Betis earlier on Saturday, leaving the Los Blancos 4 points behind them with 8 games remaining. Let's finish off with some Formula 1.
He'll be checking the left mirror and the right mirror. They're still there. He's still P1 after 53 laps. The first man to win 4 in a row around Suzuka circuit. Max Verstappen takes the checkered flag to win in Honda colors in Japan. Max Verstappen wins the Japanese Grand Prix to deny Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, the contenders for the title, separated by 2.1 seconds across the line. Driving brilliant.
All right, so that was what happened over the weekend, the Japanese Grand Prix. Red Bull's Max Verstappen fending off a race-long challenge for McLaren's Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri to win the Japanese Grand Prix. That's the very latest in the world of sport. For more, you can head to citysportsonline.com. And on X, you can find us at City Sports GHA. Kickoff was proudly brought to you by Zonda GH Shell Go Wall, and Lesheho, Let's Improve Life. I am Gabi Ofer. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do take care and bye-bye.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Even when you're stuck with nothing, no matter your situation, let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Let's share go, we improve your life.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Put your phones in the air. Wave your awesome cameras. Why the party then? You awesome like Samsung Galaxy. Get out the way, get out the way. Make way for the boss. Get out the way, You need long-lasting battery life for this party. Take a picture, my sister. Boss. Choose a phone like a boss. Show me your Samsung Galaxy. Wait till this morning. Boss. Take a picture, my sister. Boss. Choose a phone like a boss. Show me your Samsung Galaxy. Then a baby mommy. Boss. Get out the way. Make way for the boss.
Ago.
Amen.
We are gathered here to discuss the funeral plans of Fifi. As we have always done, the children will take the caskets, siblings take the catering, while nieces and nephews will take the...
Wafa, may I please speak?
Go ahead, Aaron.
I signed Daddy up on a family care funeral trust prepaid plan. They will be providing us with everything we need, from caskets, hearse, canopies and decorations, among many others. Yes, they will provide food and drinks as well.
That's such a relief. Don't let you or your loved one's funeral become another emergency family meeting. Plan ahead. Call or WhatsApp us on 026 26 26 181 or visit our website at familycaretrust.com. family care, today's wisdom, tomorrow's peace of mind. Underwritten by Metropolitan Life Insurance Ghana Limited. TNC supply.
Ghana, our homeland, a land of beauty, culture, and pride. From breathtaking reserves to iconic landmarks, Ghana stands tall as the gateway of Africa. Now, imagine carrying a piece of Ghana with you. Introducing the GTB Ghana Month Collection, designed to let you wear the pride of our nation, the spirit of our people, and the soul of our heritage. Don't just wear African prints, wear a piece of Ghana. Available at all accredited GTP dealers nationwide, the GTP retail store in Osu, and online at shop.gtpfashion.com. Verify authenticity by matching the code on the edge of the fabric with the code on the label. GTP. Life styled.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302-246319 or 0302-246644. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Women. Sha-la-la-la.
The City Breakfast Show.
Makoma, disagree. Yeah, you with your people. Send me, see, every day. Oh, don't me, send me between me and you. What to imagine? Oh, so simple. Now, I'm around. Makoma, disagree. Yeah, you with your people. Send me, see, every day. Oh, don't me, send me between me and you. What to imagine? Oh, so simple. Now I'm around. Oh, don't manage it, yeah. Menya. Oh, don't manage it, yeah. Menya. Oh, don't manage it. Oh, don't manage it. Hey, oh, don't manage it. Don't manage it, yeah. Matomi. Enemy when ye. Oh, don't manage it. Oh, don't manage it. Hey, oh, don't manage it. Don't manage it, yeah. Merambi. Miyata fwa kasa. Me dead. I'm coming away. Me dead.
7:33 on the City Breakfast Show. Got that Akedi. Domwin Nije. And it's a good song to dedicate to some people on their birthdays, Caleb.
So Harriet, for example, is a dancewoman and she's a keen listener of the show. She's turning a year older today. We are wishing her to 97.3 minimum. Happy blessed birthday, Harriet Nyako. And this one says, happy birthday to Mrs. Theodora Dome Ajintete. God bless your new age and Dame. Okay, I got
Theodora Dame.
Sorry, Theodora Dame Ajintete. Thank you so much. Happy birthday. We wish you a very wonderful one. Happy birthday to Lois Ban Nyako of the Audit Department of Deloitte. Also to Eve Janice Note of the Audit Department, Lucky Oting, and Edwin Ajidobo of the Finance Department as well. All of Deloitte. This is from your country manager, managing partner Daniel Kwejo Owusu, and all staff. Happy birthday to all of you. Happy birthday to Engineer Alex Kweku, to Asare Zach. Wishing you a very happy, blessed birthday. May this day be filled with joy, laughter, and all the things that bring happiness to you. We remember your time at the Ghana Gas and hope this new chapter of your life is filled with exciting opportunities. May the year ahead be even brighter and more fulfilling than the last. Warmest wishes from Kofi Okwampa Akoto and the family. Please join me celebrate a true servant of the Lord, Bishop Dr. Isaac Enumkwe, founder and general overseer of the Word of Life Christian Center, and wife Lady Vanessa Kwe, as they both mark their birthdays today. Wow, Bishop, you have been a true father. You have shepherded us through the undiluted Word of God and biblical principles. We count it a privilege to sit at your feet. So on this special day, we wish you more grace and God's blessings to you both and your household. May God reward your faithfulness, dedication, and service to the body of Christ. George Adai Sender through. Please tell Bernard that he's a big man. Okay. Kindly help wish my good friend Shelley Mesme of Divine Energy Company Limited in Cape Town, South Africa, a belated birthday. Her birthday was yesterday. I wish her God's divine peace and blessings. This is from Gordon Sa. Please wish my daughter a glorious birthday, Jessica Boache Dankwa. May the Lord cause the lines to fall in pleasant places for her. This is from Dad and Mom Jerry and Dorothy Boache Dankwa and all your siblings, Jerry Jr. and Joel.
7:36 on the City Breakfast Show. A quick update on some running issues. The National Security is in the news this morning. They have given an update on the suspicious gold and fake currency that was found in a residence at Sapeman, with the update that now there are Bank of Ghana boxes were found together with some of those contraband goods. And this is over a month and a half since the original story broke. And then the back and forth on drug smuggling at Kotoka International Airport, the claims made by MP Intim Fojo, and the response from government is still coming up for discourse. But let's talk about some of the things you need to do this morning.
So, dear women, Zenith Bank recognizes the hard work and balance you maintain at home, work, and in your business. Let us lend a helping hand. How? Zenith Bank's Women's Desk offers tailored financial services for women, easy access to personal loans, business loans, access to financial literacy programs, and many more. Experience true support at Zenith Bank's Women's Desk, available at 37 business locations nationwide. For more information on participating branches, visit zenithbank.com.gh. Zenith Bank Women's Desk, empowering women with financial solutions. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Let me tell you about Verna Mineral Water. It has taken a bold step by removing its seal from the cap towards environmental sustainability. To reduce plastic waste, Verna has modified the design of its 500 ml, 750 ml, and 1.5 liter bottles by removing the cap seal, helping to minimize pollution and protect our planet. But that's not all. Verna bottles are made from BPA-free, eco-friendly plastic, ensuring your health and safety while delivering the same refreshing hydration you trust. Plus, the new lightweight design uses less plastic, making the bottles easy to compress and shrink for recycling. So no seal, less waste, easy to compress and shrink for recycling, less plastic, same great refreshment. Choose Verna and refresh with a purpose. Don't just watch, feel every moment of passion like a true football fan, from conducting every pass, analyzing every play, and celebrating every goal like it's your own. That's passion felt, lived, and shared. That's priceless. When you pay with your MasterCard from now to 30th April, you stand a chance of winning an all-expense paid 3-day viewing experience of the UEFA Champions League final for you and your friends at the Aqua Safari Resort. For more, visit priceless.com/UEFA Africa. T's and C's apply. So your living room, right? It deserves class, warmth, and memory for your family, your friends who visit your home. Buy Ashfoam now. We deliver a masterclass range of sofas and couches to fit in every corner and space in your living room or balcony. We design exquisite range of modern living room sofas and couches, center tables, centerpieces, wooden beds, headboards, wardrobes, dressers, bedside drawers, and you just name it. Anything for your balcony, garden, we have them all. And you enjoy a 10% discount on any sofa or couches. Ashfoam sofas are of high quality, durable, and affordable. It comes in different upholstery colors and quality leather. So please call us 0243 200 729 0559 027 907. Visit any of our showrooms near you. We offer free delivery to your doorstep, but please be mindful of internet fraudsters. Be an Ashfoamer now. Ashfoam, feel it, know it.
All right, let's take the final. Okay, you know what? Let me just go straight to the issues. So, I mean, what began as a briefing by the ranking member on Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee on security issues has become, in fact, what you can call the subject of political football by the two leading political parties. And I'm not sure if I even have the time to go through the chronicle of this. But basically, Tim Fojo, who is a member of Parliament for Asin South, held a press conference, I think early April or late March, where he raised some issues around suspicious arrival and departure of two unidentified flights.
Oh, his press conference was last week. Oh.
Yes, last week, and then, but that's last week is late March, early April. Today is 7th. Yeah, and then he spoke about the seizure of 12 containers allegedly filled with gold and foreign currency by national security in February. That was February 9. And then he also spoke about the absence of updates regarding a high-profile $500 million cocaine bust. And then he went on to say that Ghana's state authorities need to be more transparent on these matters. And then he said that the suspicious flights were linked to drug trafficking. So I think this is where the whole thing came from. According to him, intelligence sources indicate that an air ambulance and a private jet arrived at KIA on March 12, originating from Gran Canaria, a location known for drug trafficking and money laundering. And then he emphasized that the flight remained in the country for an unusually extended period of time before going back to Spain. For example, he told Asasi FM that the air ambulance arrived at 2:30 a.m. on 20th March, stayed for 5 days, and when it departed at 1 a.m. on 25th March, there was no evidence of a patient being medevaced. I don't know if that word. Medevaced, forgive me. He described the flight presence in Ghana without an apparent medical emergency as highly questionable. The second flight, which also arrived from Gran Canaria, remained in the country for 13 days before returning. Then he said, given the background of the Gran Canaria and its reputation in illicit activities, he insists that Ghana's national security must provide clarity on the purpose of these flights. It's important that national security and relevant agencies provide detailed information about when exactly the planes, what the planes carried, if they took anything out, and whether any illicit cargo was involved. These are legitimate concerns that should not be withheld from the public. Then the president directed Narcotics Control Commission, the police, CID, and National Intelligence Bureau, and National Security to probe the matter. He assured the public that his administration takes all allegations of drug trafficking and money laundering seriously. All right. Now, this then degenerated, because this seemed pretty innocuous at this point, the president's response. Then it sort of degenerated into he being accused of lying and causing fear and panic, and then he responding and saying that, well, he cannot go to National Security. National Security would rather come and brief the parliamentary committee. That went on for a couple of days. The information minister or minister for government communication then comes out to release details to say that these are flights that genuinely came in that needed to be fixed for technical issues. And it's run for a whole week. This morning, the MPP say they are going to release 26 questions for government to answer on those 2 suspicious flights. And it appears the way the media has covered this, the whole discussion is becoming politics. So NDC is saying Ntim Fodjo is a liar, and Ntim Fodjo and the MPP are saying government is hiding something. What I just wanted to find out was, this early in an administration, should national security issues be politicized this way? And also, how serious should we take claims made by a member of parliament on a key committee that 2 suspicious flights could be linked to narcotics? Professor Kwesi Enin, we know him as our foremost security intellectual. Just some quick thoughts on this and how we can get to the bottom of these matters. Prof, thanks so much for joining us. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Bernard. It's always a great pleasure.
So I was trying to get the chronology of this story, and in a week it's become something else. It started as an MP making a claim about aircrafts that he believed were suspicious, and therefore the government needed to do something about it. He also made some claims about Ghana possibly being a cocaine hub because of that flight that he believes was suspicious. In 7 days, it's degenerated into now the MPP saying they are going to ask the government 26 questions. The NDC says Ntim Fodjo is a pastor, he shouldn't be lying. And for you who researches and works in this field, it must be troubling that important issue of cocaine is almost like political football being kicked left and right by our politicians, isn't it?
Well, Bernard, thank you very much. It's disappointing and very disturbing for several reasons. First, Ghana has been known as the southern hub for cocaine trafficking, in which about 13 to 15% of all cocaine used in Europe previously passed through Ghana. So we have the infrastructure, the networks, the storage, the facility, the protection, racketeering procedures, and then the cultural norms around not spilling blood. But we've moved on from there over the last couple of years through sort of consistent interventions, improving investigative and then preventive skills. So we need to be careful that we don't create this impression within the international community that we are back to square one, that all the earlier efforts done, have been frittered away. The second issue for me relates to building trust and bipartisanship in our politics, particularly in the legislative processes where there are specific committees enjoined by the Constitution and the standing orders, to work in particular ways. Now, a parliamentarian has a right to raise questions, but particularly when those questions deal with the reputation of the country and how our international partners perceive us, then there are all kinds of procedures and mechanisms and tools within the House that both standing and select committees can use to get information that they are looking for. So, number one, there can be questions to the minister. I mean, motions can be filed on the floor. There can be statements issued. And of course, at the end of the year, there can be annual reports. And then there can be visits and follow-ups. And in this particular case, especially when Parliament is on recess, there's nothing that prevents us from going through the Speaker and calling the committee back as a matter of national urgency, or setting up a subcommittee to examine this particular issue. So I want us to be able to raise the conversation over and beyond, this partisanship and the toxic atmosphere that I think we are creating. We don't need that. The people of Ghana don't deserve it. And I think we can do much better than we have done in the past week.
So the government obviously has come to deny or sought to debunk his claims with some information provided, but the NPP have sort of jumped in now to defend their man, and they've raised new questions. So yes, you've told us the general ways to go about this, but it looks like it's gone out of hand. Parliament is on recess, and this morning I'm sure there will be a press conference by the NPP. Who do you think should call these people to order? Should government hold back and say, look, let's take this back to the right platform. Let's not make this a matter of media discourse in the manner in which it is getting, or it's gotten out of hand? Because now that the NPP is going to hold a press conference to demand these answers, is it beyond redemption?
No, it is not beyond redemption. And therein lies the earlier set of practical parliamentary interventions that can be made. Instead of the press conference, were there to be trust in our politics. These are questions that can be passed on to the minister, or a special subcommittee can be established by the Speaker because of the weightiness of the issues that we are discussing, for them to get to the bottom of this. And when this subcommittee is established and they call for the flight logs, the head of all the different institutions that were at the airport to appear before them, let's not forget that these committees have the powers of the High Court. So they are very powerful committees. So to be difficult for anyone to appear before them, and let's not forget that the committees also have their own researchers, who can help them, and they can also ask the public to submit, information to them anonymously. So instead of the public grandstanding, I think it's time to pull back and to say, look, we have bigger national concerns. So while drug trafficking and money laundering are big issues, we can deal with it in a much more effective, transparent manner. Let's not also forget that Ghana, as a member of ECOWAS, that has a particular institution focusing both on drug trafficking and money laundering, the Intergovernmental Agency Against Money Laundering, JAMA. They'll be following all these things, and I suspect that there will be a letter, or at the next meeting, we will be queried to provide some information.
Wonderful.
So let's move it from there.
Yes. Now, the interesting thing is that in the initial sort of controversy, the MP then mentioned that government should give us updates on other matters, including the seizure of 12 containers allegedly filled with gold and fake foreign currency. Now, this highest was made on February the 9th, and up until this controversy, we hadn't had an update on it. Interestingly, this weekend, the National Security gave an update on the heist, and then goes on to now even tell us that the people were basically a very deadly syndicate, and that they were in possession of exclusive Bank of Ghana money boxes. Right? So now, that's the other point. Something happens in February 9. There was just an initial release of the fact that a bust had been made. But then because the MP came out to make these claims, some would assume that that's why the national security also came as this update. So now we have this update that there's an Alagi being looked for. He's on the run. Mr. Jakpa gave some more details of the people's modus operandi, and then went on to even say that they had in their possession a Bank of Ghana money box. I mean, it seems a pretty serious issue because indeed the National Security Director of Special Operations even told us that the discovery of over $100 million in fake currency was found with these guys. So it looks like a very serious syndicate, and it's a massive heist. But again, it sort of took this controversy to bring up more information. I don't know what you make of that.
Well, I mean, the 12 containers, we know that 2 got missing, and I don't know whether they have retrieved those 2. The original information we got was that 2 of the containers had gotten missing. The name of the Alagi, or the term Alagi, was used in the original statement. What we are now being told relates to the Bank of Ghana boxes, which I think ought to have been known from February 9th when the containers were opened, except, of course, those who opened it did not know they were Bank of Ghana boxes, which also raises its own concerns. Now, as for transnational organized criminal syndicates, they are all dangerous. And the danger lies in their ability to collude with and undermine state institutions and be able to bring such deadly things into the country. $100 million of fake currency will basically pull the rug from under our economy. But these are not the only syndicates that have been operating or are operating in Ghana. The 1,356 containers, that ECG containers that left the port, also relates to an organized criminal syndicate in which loads of statutory national institutions were involved in that heist, costing us dozens of millions of dollars. So once more, we need to elevate in the interventions and say which are the most competent state institutions trained, mandated to do this work. Okay, in terms of the investigations and all that. I think we are enjoying the conversation and the chatter in the public space much more than quietly, professionally getting the job done and handing them over to the appropriate institutions for prosecution. But whatever it is, this cocaine case must be handled properly. There are channels for that. Post the press conference, whatever information they have, I think the people of Ghana deserve to get to the bottom of this. Let's establish a subcommittee in Parliament that has the powers of a high court to call the appropriate people to appear before it and very quickly from the people of Ghana of their age.
It looks like our ports are becoming very troubled in terms of what is being found there, because apart from the missing containers that were lost, last week we were told that the FDA and the Ministry of Health, through a court order, were going to destroy a number of containers containing opioids, and these were essentially goods that were not supposed to have come into the country. I mean, is there a need for a special beefing up of our ports, seeing as they've become the conduit for a lot of these challenges? Do the ports deserve special mention in this conversation about whether it's drug trafficking or basically contraband goods, and what should we do to beef it up?
Well, Bernard, as I said earlier on, some time back, we were the southern hub for all kinds of trafficking activities. I mean, the UNODC, the United Nations, characterized us as the southern half and Guinea-Bissau as the northern half. Let's also not forget that all these methodologies for bringing these illicit goods into the country have been tried and tested elsewhere. My argument, based on almost 20 years of tracking this kind of stuff, is that those who are involved are testing our pulse right now to see whether we have the capacity first to prevent, to track, to arrest, to prosecute, and to degrade the network. Okay, and that's why on Saturday I've asked His Excellency the President also to shine his focus on the institutions that have failed and have constantly failed in delivering on their fundamental mandate, and in getting people to look at the quality of performance and effectiveness. It should not be these institutions checking themselves. It should draw in others with the forensic, investigative, all kinds of skills. Because we've got to get control of this. And I'll repeat, these deadly syndicates, as they've been described, are just testing our pulse, whether we are strong enough to resist it. The attacks are in Liberia, are in Sierra Leone. So this is a massive, concerted, organized bombardment of the coastal states. And we need to be careful.
Okay, finally, I heard the Interior Minister over the weekend say that they had busted a group of criminals, predominantly from China and Philippines, involved in illegal mining and also some sort of internet kind of scams. And his point was that he had directed his agencies not to prosecute these people, but to just deport them and then essentially prevent them from coming into the country. Now, I was a bit concerned when I heard that, but I'm not sure if I should be concerned that if a foreigner is caught in a country, is deporting them enough punishment, or is it a way of saving our resources instead of taking them through a laborious prosecution process? I mean, what do you make of that? The voice clip, the video clip, I'll probably have for listeners to follow, but this was Muntaka speaking to some police and saying that don't waste your time prosecuting foreigners when you catch them in crime. Just deport them to their country and we'll blacklist them. Is that a good approach?
Well, I hope and pray that it was a slip of tongue from the minister, because this is an open sesame to these so-called dangerous syndicates. If they can only be arrested, kept behind bars and fed with my taxpayers' money, and also waved at from Kutuka Airport, bye-bye, please don't be a bad boy or bad girl again. That is an open invitation for people to come in here. Now, what is the value of the criminal chain that we are talking about? Ghana is the second biggest gold smuggling country on this continent, losing the country billions of dollars. So the point here is, are we afraid of the levels of collusion by Ghanaians or some of these people, that were we to put them before a court of competent jurisdiction and questioned by our professional investigators, that they will crack and begin to talk? Mr. President, once more, let me use this medium to appeal to you to rescind this decision, because it will be a danger to our country's existence. We will become a magnet for all criminal networks, knowing that they can do internet fraud, engage in illicit mining, and they will be waved away. Please, Your Excellency, this is a danger to our very existence. and an open invitation to criminals to come into our country, knowing they will not be punished. Please help defend this decision.
Thank you, Prof. Let me leave you to go and do your regular work. Professor Kwesieni, thank you so much. Always good talking to you.
I like that. It's my regular work. Thank you very much, Bernard.
Professor Kwesieni,
and I wish you a very
yes, please. Professor Kwesieni, we know him. He's a researcher in the area of security, one of our foremost intellectuals in the space, speaking to us on the controversies around the Intim Fojo cocaine claim about the airport, the latest national security update on the February 9 gold and fake currency heist, the ports becoming a notorious place for either missing things or bringing contraband goods, whether it's containers getting lost or what do you call it, opioids being found. And then this quite strange comment by the Interior Minister about what will happen to foreigners if they are found in crime. And indeed, you heard Dr. Enin, Professor Enin say he was appealing to the President's reverse decision, because indeed, I'm told that the Foreign Minister made a similar comment on a recent trip. So it seems to be official government policy that if a foreigner is found in certain crimes, they will be deported. Now, I'm going to bring you tech and social media trends, and then I'll try and get to the bottom of this to find out from government, is this actually government policy, or is it a policy in relation to specific kinds of offenses? And if it is, what law backs it? And thinking about Aisha Juan and how deportation did not work in the first instance, why is the government thinking that deporting criminals is the best way to deal with them? All right, so let's do the mention who's sponsoring.
So Telecel and First Bank are proud to bring us tech and social media trends. First Bank Ghana says if you're sending money to Nigeria, Gambia, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Kenya, Djibouti, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, it's so much easier now. You can send money to any of these countries in minutes. All you need to do is to visit any of our branches, First Bank Ghana branch nationwide, with your cash, and your money is transferred in no time. And to receive money, you will need an account with us. This is one way we'll put you first. Please call 0596 921 921. First Bank, you first.
Okay.
And if you're looking for the best value, data, and voice offers that are tailored to your unique needs, Telecel understands everyone has their own preference. That's why we have the unbeatable Made For Me bundles made just for you. The Made For Me bundles are affordable, customized data and voice packages personalized for you. Simply dial *530# or download the Telecel Play app to subscribe to your special Made For Me bundle. Telecel, connecting energies.
5 minutes past 8. Susu Graham will tell us what's trending. Kusu, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As you know, when it's a long weekend of sports, there's a lot of sports to talk about. So I'll talk about basketball first, actually.
Okay.
So the LA Lakers managed to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have the best record in the Western Conference.
Okay.
So for those who don't know basketball, they play in two conferences, East and West. So Oklahoma City Thunder are the top team in the Western Conference. They've had a great year.
Who is their best player?
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
And LA Lakers is
LeBron James.
All right.
So the Lakers have not been. They are about the third seed right now, but OKC, Oklahoma City, have been one of the better teams in the league. So it was a surprise victory for sure. I don't think a lot of people were expecting it because of how good OKC have been, but the Lakers decided to spoil the party. And with the playoffs coming up, a lot of teams have between 6 to 4 games left to finish their regular season. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the season plays out. So very interesting stuff. Then we had a lot of Premier League football on Sunday. How did you enjoy the weekend?
I think it was just I don't know. It's a regular weekend.
Did you watch the match?
I watched it. I watched like 70% of the match.
When did you take it off?
I had to go somewhere, so I had to drive and listen to the rest of it. And I heard you say it was just a blip, and I agree with you.
Okay.
It was just a blip on there.
So, as you can imagine, there's a lot of trends. But you know, because Ghanaians are Chelsea fans, it's mostly the Chelsea trend. So, Maresca, Ghanaian supporters were criticizing him. We got a lot of messages on radio. They were not happy with the
I actually
lineup.
saw a game. My best game was the 2-2 between Bournemouth
and West Ham,
with 2 Ghanaians giving assists. And I think Semenyo's reputation is becoming quite interesting. I'm told now Man U too wants him.
Yeah. So the Chelsea names are in the trends first because Ghanaians love Chelsea. So you have Nkunku, Maresca. I think Chelsea fans are not impressed with Nkunku, and they are not impressed with Maresca either because they were surprised that Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer were on the bench.
They were being rested for the some cup final.
We'll see.
Against some non-entity.
Oh, Liga was also a big team.
Oh, please.
They're a big team in Poland.
Chelsea should be winning that thing easily.
So Liverpool and Fulham are in the trends, of course, as you can imagine.
Liverpool losing the second game of the season.
Yeah, a shock, and their first away defeat of the season, a shock result.
Yeah.
Garnacho and other Manchester United related trends are in there. But Garnacho, Dogu, Man City, they're all in the trends as well.
Yeah.
A quite boring match.
Boring 0-0.
Yeah, but I think Manchester United, they were the better team. I think Man City,
for the large part of the second half, yes, they were.
And then, of course, security concerns in Ghana.
Yeah,
we have been you spoke to Dr. Enim, Professor. You work hard for that title, so my apologies, Prof.
Yes.
So, of course, a lot of trends related to that. So, in Team Fojo, cocaine, Ahmed, Felix, all trending in relation to this alleged drug smuggling. Flights that brought it in and all the things that came up. We've seen videos of them repairing the aircraft. We've seen responses about the video. It's a minefield, honestly. So there's a lot of questions and there's a lot of answers that need to be heard by the public. So very scary situation in that regard. Because
it's also trending.
Yes, of course. Because if what the minority is saying is true, that the country is becoming a drug trafficking hub, we have to.
Actually, Professor Enin said it used to be, and that people are now testing to see if we will go back. So I think his point, if you listen to him carefully, was that reputation has sort of reduced. Yeah. So we shouldn't score own goals and bring it back with some of these politicization issues. This is what I get from the interview he gave.
So my tech news is, of course, is always Bitcoin.
Oh, Lord.
Bitcoin is down 5%. So if you remember, a few weeks ago, we are at the heady heights of $105,000 per Bitcoin. So 105K, we reached those heights. Now we're at 78K. So things have gone back.
So volatile.
So, well, if you round up, I'll say 79K. But so Bitcoin is down 5%, and the markets are also down. I think the tariffs.
The tariffs have led to a certain
exactly.
About the
so
outlook of
the whole thing is a bit strange, but it looks like we'll see how things settle. But Trumponomics is in full swing. So
I tell you, that was taking social media trends to Susu Graham.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
You looking for a bank to rely on? Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Would we say to bank baby? No lie, only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilly, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first.
Nobody feed do I'm like us. Do I'm like us. First Bank we treat you first. Treat you first. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Auntie, mami fufu 20 Ghana. Me pe fufu ne nkwan kwa. Sisi asa ne Ghana akoni de ya bonu 010. Meme wanu ni. Telecel de. Yenim so bia ne ne ope. Enu nti ne ya made for me bundle. Ya data ne call packages are F4. Ne ya ma won kwa. Made for me bundles. Send you we need ho. But star 530 hash. Na top made for me bundles. Sisi ya.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Gasaba. Smoke from firewood and charcoal is harmful and as damaging to our lungs as cigarettes. It can cause heart diseases leading to stroke and may even affect our eyesight in the long run. Grandmothers, mothers, sisters, wives, men, caterers, and everyone still cooking with charcoal, let's switch to LPG gas. The National Petroleum Authority has introduced the cylinder recirculation model in collaboration with local partners to make gas more accessible in all local communities. Whether you own a cylinder or not, join our CRM initiative. Simply show up at any exchange point near you with a small down payment to receive a filled cylinder or swap your empty one. Regular safety checks will be in place. Say ebisa musemo gas. Afedie gasaba. Switch from firewood and charcoal to gas for a better and healthier life. This message is brought to you by the National Petroleum Authority and the Ministry of Energy.
Football's magic never fades, even from the couch. The sound of halftime banter replays at the touch of a button. Sharing with my chosen crew. Pure game magic. It's like I'm there, but with a better view from the comfort of my home. Priceless. From the March 3rd to April 30th, pay with your MasterCard, online or in-store, and stand a chance to win a unique priceless viewing experience of the UEFA Champions League final for you and your friends. MasterCard, proud supporter of Nostar fans. T's and C's apply.
Sankofa fufrabo, pepper powder, pepper ojawo. Sankofa pepper powder, Sankofa pepper powder, Sankofa pepper powder. Abuna abonje krakra, Sankofa pepper powder, Sankofa pepper powder. Ojawo.
This is a bank. First Atlantic Bank, a shining purple star to brighten up my day. First Atlantic Bank, professionally different services all day long. First Atlantic Bank, and it feels so cool. I know this is where I belong. Come on, everybody, this is a bank like no other. First Atlantic Bank. Follow me, let's go now. Let's go. Let's bank. This is a bank like no other. Let's bank. This is a bank like no other. Let's bank. This is a bank like no other. First Atlantic Bank.
First Atlantic Bank. Refreshingly different.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
So it's a 8:15 City Breakfast Show. We want to hear from you. 054-998-6996. We'll wrap up on the security matters and then jump into some road issues. But here are some quick announcements.
Yes, please. If you're looking for a delicious snack for both kids and adults, try Bell Moo flavored milk. Bell Moo comes in chocolate and sweet strawberry flavors. It's perfect for any time of the day for your lunch boxes, after school snacks, or a quick pick-me-up. For bulk distribution, please call 0544-335-900, 0544-335-800. Bell Moo is maliciously delicious, another quality product from Bell Aqua. Now that your rich auntie, that chairman, that work colleague, you know, the one I'm talking about, they are getting more than they signed up for, and here's why. It's because they are enjoying priority treatment, preferential rates, amazing rewards, and seamless digital banking solutions. With Access Banking, insurance, and investment solutions, the next big story is yours to write. Sign up for an ABSA account today and get more. Your story matters, ABSA. Attention all cybersecurity professionals, board executives, CISOs, CIOs, and CTOs. Sapient and Vision, a proud subsidiary of Innovari Limited, invites you to CISO Summit 2025, the ultimate gathering for cybersecurity professionals. Join us on the 9th and 10th of April 2025 at Labadi Beach Hotel, Accra. This year's theme is Proven Strategies for Global Cyber Executives, Maximizing Organizational Security and Efficiency. Don't miss out on the chance to gain valuable insights, explore the latest cybersecurity trends, and network with top experts from around the world. Register now for just 5,000 cities. Group discounts are also available for 3 or more registrants from a company. To register, partner, or become an exhibitor, visit the CISOsummit.com or call 0572 760 472 to secure your spot today. And if you're looking for a smarter, faster, and more secure way to manage your finances, look no further. With the award-winning Fab mobile and internet banking solution, banking is now easier, faster, and more convenient than you think. Join the Pebble Bank today and experience the Pebble experience where convenience meets innovation. It's easy, safe, and secure. First Atlantic Bank, 2 times Digital Bank of the Year in a row. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different.
So it's 19 minutes past the hour of 8. Here's the Minister for Interior speaking over the weekend.
And the Chinese and some other citizens, Filipinos that we found, the kind of activities that we did were purely defrauding citizens around the world using a system that they set up that was so sophisticated. Many of them are into our forests. Many of them are cutting our trees unlawfully. Others are involved in galamsey activities and many other crimes. We have resolved as a new policy that for 2 things, you in our forest, whether doing galamsey or cutting our trees unlawfully, getting yourself into fraud activities, that's whether using computer or other fraud activities, for these 2 crimes, when we arrest any foreigner, we are not interested in prosecuting them. Our first option is to take them back to their country. And this is something that we are very serious about. And you are the first point of call when sometimes you make arrests or when people are arrested, they are handed over to you. Please, if it involves these 2 things, the prosecutors within the police, I have officially written to the Attorney General, we are not interested in prosecuting people who are destroying our environment and who are defrauding people across the globe. What we want is that we want to take them back into their country and then we'll put them on the stop list, never to be able to come back to our country.
So 21 minutes past the hour of 8, that was the Interior Minister Mubarak Muntaka Mohammed. Here is also the Foreign Minister speaking during his West Africa tour this weekend.
They are destroying all our river bodies. President Mahama has said that he will not tolerate any form of mining in our river bodies, in our forests. And he has deployed the military. He has been very ruthless about it. What we need to do now is to also punish severely those who keep going back when the soldiers have left, have cleared the place and they go back. So you are going to, in the next few days, see prosecutions commence. We are going to round people up. We are going to prosecute them. We are going to set examples. We are not going to treat this matter with kid gloves, I can assure you. Already, a lot of deportations have happened, but we've just not been advertising it and talking about it. All those foreigners who think that they can come and join in the destruction of our environment, which is really an existential threat we face. We round them up and we make sure that they are deported immediately. So I believe that your actions should speak for you. So you will see when the prosecutions are going on, when the military deployments continue, you are going to see that the water turbidity levels are going to improve and our river bodies will be restored, and we shall also reclaim our environment.
All right, so these are two key ministers essentially saying the same thing, that foreigners are actively taking part in destroying our country through galamsey. The Interior Minister also mentioned illicit scams, like scams online and stuff like that. And then he said he had directed the Attorney General that they in the security were not interested in prosecuting, they should just deport. And the Foreign Minister sort of corroborates this and says they have deported so many people and that the President is determined to stop galamsey and that anybody who gets involved will be deported. Now, I'm linking two things. The Interior Minister made reference to Chinese and Filipinos caught in a syndicate doing some illegalities online and also in our forests doing galamsey. Then the Foreign Minister also...
illegal logging.
Illegal logging and galamsey. Then the Foreign Minister also makes the same point. So these are two key ministers confirming the view that as a state we believe that there's a disproportionate number of foreigners involved in illegal mining. You understand? Because the example they choose to make is using Chinese. At the same time, these government ministers are interacting with some Chinese officials under some China-Ghana Mining Association rubric, which I'm not too sure what that is. So in that particular photo I've seen, and I could be wrong, but the photo I saw suggests that there was about 3 ministers there: Energy Minister, Road Minister, Finance Minister, at an event under the name China-Ghana Mining. Is it association? All right. So that's number one. What kind of signal does it send to have 3 key ministers at an event on China-Ghana mining when you have this view that a lot of the people involved in illegal mining are Chinese? That's number one. Number two, why are you opting to deport instead of prosecute, which is not necessarily a law? He's calling the policy. I wonder what is informing this policy. Why is government deporting foreigners without taking them to the regular prosecution? We need some answers, Goffred.
Oh, certainly, I agree with you. I'm hoping that these are some of the questions that can be asked when Parliament returns from recess, for the minister to perhaps explain a bit more clearly what is informing this new policy. What have they seen? Are deportations proving to work as a deterrent in the fight against illegal logging, galamsey, and online scams? Is that the briefing he has been given by his CID, National Intelligence Bureau, that to prosecute? Or is that what the Attorney General is saying, that deportation is better than prosecution and jailing? Is it because we also don't want to carry the burden of spending our tax money on these individuals who we will then have to feed and house, and then after that deport as well? So we would rather just send them to their home countries and not carry the cost of, reforming or punishing them here. It will be interesting. It will be important. Not interesting. It will be important to hear some of a bit more clarity on this, so that it doesn't just look like one of those random policies that happens and doesn't actually have an impact. We want to understand what is feeding this. So perhaps when Parliament resumes, Honorable Muntaka can explain a bit better
on why
why him and the Foreign Minister can explain why they think this is the way to go rather than the path of prosecutions. Is there reciprocity involved in this? So does that mean, because I doubt if China catches you doing a Ghanaian doing illegal logging in any forest in China, it is deportation that you are getting. No, you will be jailed. So or any other country, or in the Philippines, if you are caught in the Philippines doing online scam as a Ghanaian, it is only deportation that you will suffer. They will jail you and deport you after. So perhaps they can explain some of the thinking behind this a bit more clearly. I won't sit here and say it's a bad policy. I am not aware of.
Well, Kwesieni says it's a bad policy. When I interviewed him, he said he thinks the president should not allow them to do this.
Yeah, he's more experienced than I am in this.
So you to be fair, some people say Why do you spend taxpayer money to take a person through prosecution and keep him in your prison and feed him? I don't know how much they feed our prisoners anyway.
Yeah.
And our prisons are also congested. But
Yeah.
again, that doesn't solve the problem. I would have thought you jail them, or you at least prosecute them, and then deport them with a criminal record.
Yes, you know.
But to just deport them without proving that they are criminals.
Which is why I have said that I would want to see what briefing the minister has been given. You know, I want to hear a bit more. He should be asked questions on this, because he has to be able to explain that, okay, this is why we are doing this. It's not because he woke up one morning and had a vision that it is better to deport. That is not how policies are made. Policies are based on facts and data. So I'm sure he has been fed some information. What did the information say? Did the information say that it makes more sense to deport than to prosecute and jail? Do they see it as a greater deterrent? Do they fear deportation more than jail? What kind of message does that send? I'm sure all those things would have been discussed. So we also need to understand, our parliamentarians need to want to know some of these things.
The way our parliament has become, based on even the 1940 case and how politicized it's become, even on security issues, I doubt it if there will be any proper.
No, you see, because if
you know, it's
if we are to just take deportation, and we are to say, look, this thing doesn't, it just sounds weird. Wasn't Aisha Juan deported? Did she not make her way back into this country?
So if Aisha Juan is deported,
she made her way back into this country.
As a high-profile example of how that policy didn't work, why will this government just come and start this policy without giving us any further details?
Yes, there are a million ways to get into Ghana. There are a million ways. The person that is on Aisha Juan proved that she came via Togo. She was deported by air and arrived via road in this country where she was making her return. So we want to see where these things are coming from. And on the point you made about this new association, I think the timing was atrocious.
Yeah.
Do
you have the story on it?
It's everywhere.
So the story, I have that here. Let me pull that up for you.
Yeah.
So China-Ghana Mining Association inaugurated to deepen bilateral collaboration. Reading from My Joy Online, government and some leading Chinese mining enterprises have officially inaugurated the Association of China-Ghana Mining, ACGM. The high-profile inauguration ceremony took place on April 3, 2025 at Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, Accra, marking a milestone in Sino-Ghanaian collaboration in the extractive sector. The event was graced by Emmanuel Amakofibua, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, who represented His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama as special guest of honor. Delivering a keynote address on behalf of President Mahama, Mr. Amakofibua reaffirmed the government's commitment to working closely with ACGM to enhance and streamline Chinese investments in Ghana's mining sector. Quote, through structured cooperation, we can unlock new opportunities while ensuring that mining activities align with Ghana's border development and sustainability goals. He further stressed the importance of leveraging Chinese expertise in underground mining, low-grade ore development, and mining-related technical training to boost efficiency and global competitiveness in Ghana's mining industry. Now, Chinese ambassador to Ghana, Tong Difa, commended the formation of the association, describing it as a bridge for mutually beneficial cooperation and an important platform for dialogue between governments, businesses, and local communities. Story goes on and on.
So it's actually launched.
Yes.
And the person there was representing the president of Ghana.
Yes. And there were other notable dignitaries like George Opare Ado, Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment, John Abdullahi Jinapon, Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Ibrahim Mahama, CEO of Engineers and Planners, among others.
So, again, my position on this is nobody is stopping anybody from forming an association. But it looks pretty weird in the middle of the worst period of irresponsible mining you have in the history of your country, where you are spending millions of dollars in trying to solve that problem, where your interior minister has just told you or has just told the general public that a large section of the people they are catching in these forests perpetrating these crimes are from a certain country, and that he's going to deport the people of that country in the same week we are launching an association that is attended by high-level government functionaries. I think the association could have been formed. The government should have stayed away. You see, but the government,
even if the government knows these legitimate companies and knows that the fact that there are Chinese involved in illegal mining illegally does not mean that if there are legal ones, we shouldn't endorse them.
No, I've not said they should not. That's why you not attending does not mean you are not endorsing
I'm
them.
playing a devil's advocate here.
Yes, I understand. You not attending does not mean you are not endorsing them. Of course, everybody knows that a significant chunk of the technology that we are using in our mining industry comes from China. The trucks, the excavators, a lot of the tech, the engineering. But we also know that a lot of the tech and engineering that has led to the blow up of irresponsible illegal mining also comes from China. There's no disputing that.
Changfan.
You understand? So I'm sure maybe the minister can tell us that, well, this is a good avenue for him to perhaps also to tell some of these companies that, look, we know most of you are legal, you are doing this, but you can also help us in this by making sure that those who come from China or who do this illegally and irresponsibly, you tell them to stop or something. I am sure they can give a positive twist to it. I am simply saying that at the period that we find ourselves in, launching this now and having the government functionaries attending it looked a bit weird for me, because in the end, somebody will say it speaks to your commitment a bit.
The optics are not good.
The optics matter.
Charlie.
Optics does matter, whether we like it or not. Optics does matter. Okay, so an association can be formed, and again, I ask, on the China side, what is Ghana getting?
That's a good point, because
what is Ghana getting? What makes this so important for us on the China side, outside of they are investing in mining, but they get more anyway.
Let me push the devil's advocate further. So, because of the Washington position and what the U.S. administration has started doing, a country like Ghana will obviously need
a partner like China.
A partner who is a superpower.
Certainly.
And I think in the world now, there are 2.5 superpowers, right? The U.S. is one, China is the other, and then Europe is half in a way. So Europe, you can definitely say they've been a partner, but Europe is not that deep financially or cash rich to give you anything you need at this point. The way the Chinese administration works with its state banks and companies, for a country like Ghana that has a $10 billion infrastructure big push, being in China's good books is a very, very important thing to have, particularly when Trump is slapping tariffs everywhere. So I can understand, or I don't know whether I can even say I can understand, or I can see why Ghanaian government officials will say, heck, let's go for this event, even though the optics are not good. We need to score brownie points in Beijing. We need to because this is a new government, so we need to let President Xi know that Ghana government is prepared to play ball. And do you understand where I'm going? So I'm trying hard to see what to convince these high-level government officials to attend this event, because China and mining in Ghana is not a very positive connotation.
Yes.
We are not saying everything China does is bad. China does some really good work in roads. They do some really good work in engineering in Ghana. So the China, that's what I'm saying. So if you're a government official, are you saying that because there are Chinese involved in illegal mining, if there's a legitimate need for us to partner China in a good business, we shouldn't do it?
An even more cynical person would then come up also and say that, is there a link between the formation of this association and this new policy that has been announced, where it does look like the punishment is less punitive, deportation as compared to serving jail time? A more cynical person, would that person be wrong in making that assumption?
But would the Chinese authorities, looking at their own posture to crime in their country, do you think they will be pushing this idea of deport and do not prosecute? No. Because if you look at the way China treats its own people when they commit crimes in China, why would Chinese government, as part of their PR or their foreign outreach, even be interested in Ghanaians not punishing Chinese for committing offenses?
Especially because the previous ambassador, for instance, pushed an agenda of, if you catch anybody from our country, deal with them
they were
according
basically
to the
saying
laws
that
of your country.
these people, they are basically saying these guys are giving us a bad name and they don't represent the best of us. So I don't think China is interested in saying when you catch a criminal, send him back to China.
Bernard, just to throw this in, interestingly, when the former senior minister talked about deporting Aisha Huan and all of that, the NDC, while in opposition, promised to extradite Aisha Huan and then deal with her so she faces the laws. This was Okujeto Ablakwa speaking as the foreign affairs, minority spokesperson on foreign affairs.
You can't make this up.
He says it can be reasonably deduced from the senior minister's comment that at the center of Ghana's bilateral relations with China is an obscure willingness on the part of the Akufo-Addo government to condone plain criminality and flagrant disregard for the laws of our country in exchange for money, an appalled NDC has castigated. Now, taking the issue a step further, minority spokesperson on foreign affairs, Okujeto Ablakwa, he announced that the future NDC government will trigger extradition processes for Aisha Huan to be brought back to face our laws and be prosecuted. So this is Okujeto Ablakwa.
No.
That's why I'm saying the minister needs to.
No, I want to hear the two of them again to be sure I'm hearing right. It's
you're anyway, right.
So but you are being more cautious in your criticism of the policy because you say there could be data to support it.
No, I'm not saying there could be data. I am saying that parliamentarians should be interested in hearing the rationale behind this new policy. Because it cannot be that the minister woke up and said, this is my new policy.
Actually,
something must inform a policy.
I'm actually told that when he met the police, so when
he said it's a policy from the president.
When he met the police chiefs, I think last week or so, he actually said that again. He said that as well. So I'm told that it's actually policy.
Yes. So what is feeding it? That's what I'm saying. Bernard, I cannot ask the minister to come and show me his reasons for this. Why
can't you?
My parliamentarian can on my behalf.
Parliament is too political.
Yeah, but
too partisan. So maybe he should be able to explain in a press conference. This is the reason for this policy. Because don't forget that this whole Galamsey point, the government, the Minister of Lands is saying that the public is needed. You see, this is the whole thing. You are telling the public to help you to whistle blow. You've put blue guards or whatever to blow alarm on Galamsey. So if I'm going to risk my life to come and tell you somebody is doing Galamsey, so do you understand? So it's not even just Parliament. I think that this is such a high profile, consequential policy shift in my view.
Oh, it is.
And even if it's not a shift, clearly from the NDC side it's a shift because when you're in the opposition, they didn't support this. So even if this has been subtle government policy under the MPP, which they criticize in opposition, they shouldn't just come and then willy-nilly continue it without explaining it.
Yeah, so it's an explanation that we are looking for.
And we need it in the public domain.
Yes.
Because the parliament has become some way, with the way what justice is going. I'm not sure.
Let me enter that situation.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's going to be a reasonable discourse on security matters in parliament for a while. Because this is the first opportunity for the Committee on Interior and Defense to sort of organize itself. And the way they've gone about this in Team Fort George thing with the name calling and the back and forth is obviously not going to end well. So I don't expect that committee to sit down and say, oh, by the way, Muntaka, come and explain to us why this policy. Even if they did it, it's very partisan.
No, but then at least it will still get him to explain. You see, the debates will be partisan, but his explanation cannot be.
But
because if he rises to answer that question,
I get you, though.
He has to give information.
I get you.
What they do with the information after
so fair
is
enough.
The politics.
So whether it is partisan or not, Parliament can still be the place. But
yes, he should come and provide that information.
Parliament's on recess. We don't need to wait for the Parliament to come. They should tell us now. Parliament is coming back like after Easter.
Yes.
You know this.
Yeah. So if then Mutaka, please do a press conference and explain to us what is happening.
It's a very consequential because Ablakwa said there are a lot of foreigners have been deported already. Can you imagine?
Deportation frenzy.
I want to talk about the deportation thing.
Yeah.
I can understand that our prisons are full. You don't want to add extra people. But even deporting people without charging them, on what basis do you deport them? Because if you catch someone in the act of doing a crime, you have to go to court and prove that they are truly guilty, as far as I know.
Yeah.
You can't say that I saw you doing this, so I'm deporting you. I don't think it works like that.
Especially because, okay, so let's even talk about this heist. So let's assume this gold.
Which of the
and
heist?
The gold and the money laundering.
The
imagine if there were foreigners involved. Would the punishment be deportation?
No, but they were very clear on which crimes They said if they find you in the forest doing illegal mining, galamsey.
I get you.
Illegal logging
and
galamsey plus the fraud,
cybercrime.
The cybercrime.
So it's for those 3 crimes. But even for those 3 crimes,
yes, they will deport you. The rest, they will jail you. They will prosecute
but
and jail you.
My whole thing is that, can you even just say, I've caught you, and that's enough to deport someone? Because it wouldn't be enough to send them to jail.
You see, and you know we are speculating. You remember the Enchi case,
yes,
where the guy had to reverse his decision? Could it be that the government feels like the cost of prosecuting anybody of significance in a galamsey case is impossibly difficult because maybe the judges are compromised, maybe the police are compromised, maybe the system around illegal miners is so complicated that the court process will be too long and costly. Do you understand? So, because you said it's for specific crimes.
Yes.
If they catch somebody shooting another person, they
You
will
go
put
through
the
the
person to
process.
prison.
Yeah.
So could it be that the legal arrangements around illegal mining, illegal logging is so sophisticated or so compromised that deportation is the easy way out?
Which is, the questions you're asking is why we need the Interior Minister, we need the Attorney General's department to explain.
But Bernard, even if that's the case, are they telling us that if they can't prosecute the foreigners, that the Ghanaians, they will go through the long process if it's too long? I'm trying to understand.
Yes, what happens to the Ghanaians?
Yeah, because
you send you back to your hometown.
I mean, my whole thing, and my whole thing is that even
I don't
have a problem with deporting people or whatever. Like,
Yes.
I think I understand the logic that even from the, if you look at when we talk about our prisons and things, putting more people in doesn't make sense. I get it. But I'm even thinking about legally.
Yes.
Can you just say,
of course, yes.
I've caught you and I'm deporting
so
you?
the guy can even contest
Yeah,
it. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And
what's the basis? So if you are presuming that I'm guilty, why are you not prosecuting me?
Because most of the time they can do that easily, because most of the time the visas that you are on will not allow you to be in the forest.
So on the face of
so you see,
but what if I'm in the forest?
No, so for
what
instance,
if I'm in the forest doing tourism?
Hold on, Bernard. So I'm on.
You catch me in the forest and I'm taking a picture.
Bernard, hold on. I'm in the US. I'm on a B1, B2.
Yes.
And then I am doing Wala to Alasa somewhere,
Yeah.
and ICE comes, and ICE says everybody show your papers,
Yes.
and I show my B1, B2. My B1, B2, ICE can deport me for being there, even though I have a valid visa, because my B1, B2 is a tourist and visit visa. It does not allow me to be doing Wala to Alasa.
But see, this is the difference.
So
But
they will deport me.
Susu's question is that let's assume you catch somebody in a forest reserve.
Yeah.
Maybe there are 20 people,
Yeah.
and he's sitting with them. Maybe they are his friends. He's there to accompany them.
Yeah, he's clapping.
You know, so
Anyway.
like the point makes that crime must be proven.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
you can meet. Let's assume you meet 25 people in a forest reserve. 16 of them are Ghanaians. 3 of them are Chinese. 1 is a Filipino, and the Filipino is taking pictures. Then you say he's in a galamsey pit. You have to prove the crime.
And if you remember,
So it's a bit complicated
and
to
if you
simply
remember,
deport the
even
guy.
recently, I think there was some Chinese people they caught in some forest reserves who were supposedly fixing their machines.
Exactly.
Because if you've hired me as a mechanic,
that's nothing
I'm
to do
coming
with
to- I'm coming to-
You are fixing a machine in the
But
forest
yes, I'm a
reserve.
mechanic.
Yes,
In the
there was
forest
a
reserve.
story. The story that Inim brought.
Yeah.
There were some Chinese who were
Who were supposedly
and they said they were
mechanics.
mechanics who were there to fix a broken
But you
car
see,
machine.
if someone hires you to fix a broken machine, right? You have been hired to fix a broken machine. Do you get what I'm saying? I understand that. Okay,
That's not mining.
They are involved in galamsey, and maybe you can say that.
But what if I said I didn't know that they were?
But you see, I know that as far as I know, if you are part of that makes you part of the conspiracy. As far as I understand, is that because you are helping them do their crime,
Yeah, but
you can
what,
be
but-
charged.
but what if no? Even what if you are sent to a place to fix a machine which you didn't know was being used for mining?
But that's exactly my point. That the idea that every foreigner you catch in a forex reserve or whatever you are going to deport, I feel like it does not stand up to legal scrutiny because there's so many reasons why people can be in places. I know that there's reasonable suspicion, which is fair, but someone can say, "Oh, like you said, I'm doing tourism. I've gone to see monkeys in their forests, and I met these people." Or what? Do you get what I'm saying? There's so many things people can say. So for me, I feel like without prosecution, the deportation doesn't even make sense in this.
And the person
in this
the
scenario.
potential deportee can actually contest the deportation in court.
And some have.
Yes.
Yeah, and-
we've had cases where some contested it and they won.
Yeah.
And so the same court that you were trying to avoid by not prosecuting them, then freeze them.
Yeah. And
I think ultimately, Bernard, the minister needs to explain.
And I have a second part of this equation. It's not like we have some robust immigration system that I know that
from coming back.
they won't come back.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, Aisha Huang came back.
And came to continue.
Someone who was one of the most well-known faces, quote unquote, in Ghana at a point because of her this and that, managed to come back. Yeah. So you're telling me some no name in the forest who you deport, who most of us have never seen his face, he won't be able to come back.
It's a very
those are the two things that bother me. Yeah. In principle, if you tell me that you want to deport people for various reasons, I get it. Mm-hmm. Our prisons are full. The courts, like you said, the court case can be costly and long. Yeah. All at the government's expense. Maybe it's not worth it. Yeah. But I think that the idea of deportation without our immigration being very solid and knowing that people won't come back, it doesn't work. And knowing that Aisha Huang came back makes me not want to support it wholeheartedly. I get the logic, but
and then,
in practice, I can't support
my conjecture again is that because of and by the way, it's conjecture, because of the strategic importance of China in some ministries. I mean, look at the people who were there, right? Yeah. You had the finance minister. When you look at our bilateral debts, China had to agree for that 5.7 billion to be written off because basically Europe and America are one side, China is the other side. Both sides had to agree.
Finance was not there. Energy.
Energy.
Lands and natural resources, youth, and then I see
roads.
Something here. Okay, I don't quite see roads.
Because the picture
but you have Ibrahim Mahama also there.
Okay, then I thought so. Finance is not there. No, I was going to say that roads as well. A lot of the companies doing our roads are Chinese companies, and they do a good job. Okay, then you also, in fact, there are local contractors who work with Chinese foremen. So I've been to sites where I've seen, and they are pretty good at what they do. So you see like 3 or 4 Chinese guys supervising maybe 20 Ghanaians, and they work very well. And the truth is that China actually has been more useful to us in the infrastructure sector than most other countries. Okay, and sometimes the government considers me, and then the energy minister, again, we are looking for energy security, diversifying our energy sources. The US compact has been cancelled because of the PDS. So if China, which is quite an advanced country in the renewables, if you look at how advanced they are even in the solar panels, I can see how some of our ministers will be courted to be nice to China because they can get a lot from them.
Oh, yeah.
You get it. So I also think the Chinese authorities in Ghana have to make a very clear statement again, because the former ambassador was very clear that if you find any of our people involved in illegality, take them through the process. Yeah. Okay, I think they need to do that to remove the suspicion around this program and the wrong timing of this program. Do you get it? So maybe the embassy should issue a statement about what this China-Ghana Mining Association is, what they stand for, and that they don't support illegal mining, and that they recognize that there may be some Chinese involved in it, but it is in no way an endorsement of the activities of those people.
And that's the question that we also need it to be clarified. Is this an association between 2 states? Is it private? Like, they need to break some of these things down for us to make it clear, because the optics, like you said, are not good. Yeah. So if they tell us that this is a Chinese government something, it's very different from, we can see that we can separate the Chinese government from Chinese individuals in the forest. But if you say it's a private thing, these people who are coming in the forest are also private individuals. So it makes it.
And you know the funny thing?
So they need to clarify.
The government spends a lot of airtime trying to control the narrative. So, for example, this weekend, different people were on different networks talking, and obviously they think about the narrative. But I'll say to you 2 things. In PR, there's always the optics and the narrative, right? So the narrative is basically what Felix Kwachi will come and say, or what Sami Jemfi will say, or basically the fact that they are putting a certain agenda through the use of language. But they forget that the optics can sometimes be more eloquent than the narrative, in the sense that if you see China-Ghana Mining Association in a week that maybe you've arrested 3 Chinese in illegal mining, because only last week 4 of them were arrested. That the optics of that is more powerful than anything you can spin. Do you get it? So people should think about how does this look. Okay, and it's a very important principle in life. You don't just look at the narrative. You cannot tell people to be people of integrity, and then you are always seen with certain kinds of characters as a person. You look at suspiciously, as a general example. Yeah. All right. Now I wanted to segue into roads.
No, we haven't dealt with
sorry,
Tim Fojo and his business.
Oh, I thought I didn't question him. Okay.
No.
He said we also
you want to wait. Okay, I am frustrated about how it's degenerated, and how this is my frustration. I don't think we've provided enough light on the issue. So what I tried to do with anyone was to try to go back to how it started. He held a press conference in Parliament, made some specific accusations, and then the MPP came to, and the government says no, this is not true. Then
they
he
invited him actually to,
and then it became a whole thing about
they
should rather come to the committee.
Yeah.
So it became, is it me or the committee? Is it the committee or me? Then it became, is it just the cocaine or there are other issues?
Yeah.
So it sort of
in
snowballed into, and it's now like 24 questions from MPP. And I'm a bit pained by the whole thing because I feel like it's much ado about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also not sure what else he has. And because an MP in a committee of that consequence is the ranking member on the security and whatever committee,
Yes.
you want to believe that he probably has more information.
Which is why you do not play gacha with it.
Yeah.
Because of the serious nature of that committee.
Mm.
That's why there shouldn't be I don't know what else you have. You understand? It should not be. Because again of what we are dealing with. Now you have the UN Committee on Drugs and Crime issuing a statement on this.
They have issued a statement on
this? Saying that
this week
that there should be clarity.
Oh Lord.
On this matter.
Wow.
So you see the levels that it's got.
This is the UN in Ghana.
That is the umbrella organization under the UN that looks at crime and drugs.
They issued a statement on this.
Yes, they've said that they expect some clarity on this matter.
Wow.
You understand?
Maybe there's something there.
No, because it's everywhere. Listen, I'll put everything together. Wow. National security heist,
February 9th.
all them from February 9th, all these things, and come down to something I always discuss. We will not be at this point if people who run institutions, who are supposed to provide a certain service for the state, provide information to the state timely. Okay. On February 9th, when this, I'll give an example. February 9th, when this Alaji incident came, you and I were on air the Monday after. It was a day after.
Yeah.
Asking, you sat there and asked, can you tell us what exactly you did? What has gone on?
Yeah.
What else should we expect?
Yeah.
You asked for an update the day after.
We didn't get.
In fact, post that day, we have done 3 other shows where we have asked, what is the update on Alaji?
Yeah. The
The Saperman issue. It did not need to become a matter of political football
for them to have responded.
You see, because it took the politics.
That's the way I'm seeing
it. It took the politics to get a response. Because now the general public was getting into what is going on, this and that. But as a matter of function, you owed it to the general public to provide an update
as a routine part of the process.
As a routine part of the process.
So that this thing will not even get to
this
point.
So when you do that, you always have something to fall back on and say, oh, this is what we did. This is what has happened. But we leave it open, and here we are. And you've become victims.
Yeah.
They've become victims. Now you are calling journalists and taking them all over to do what? We didn't need to go and see the BOG boxes. You could have told us this on the 9th.
Yeah.
You could have told us this on the 10th.
But what if they say, when it comes to investigations, we pick and choose when to respond because sometimes when you put out too much information,
security, but what is pretty obvious is that this response is not a response to security. This is a response to the fact that there was a lot of politicking in the past week.
Yes, about the fact that we are not getting any updates. And in fact, there were 3 things. The 2 planes caught, this fake currency gold thing, and then another 350 million.
The 315 from Takrady
cocaine thing.
Yes.
So he put all 3 and said, look, the government should be to come clean.
There was nothing. You see, that's something. There was nothing to come clean on.
If they had done the
routine update,
wouldn't have even gotten here.
If you had done the routine update, it's a part of the daily work that you do. So you arrest somebody, you tell Ghanaians on this day, and look, some of these, if you go on most security institutions, their website for a lot of countries, particularly those in the West, Bernard, you can't even go through the press releases.
Too many.
There are too many. Sometimes they don't even nobody bothers reading it.
But they put
it there for matter of record. So a time will come, they'll tell you that, oh, you can check. You will go there, you actually find the document. So informing the public does not even mean hold a press conference. Or, look, just put it there. Eventually, somebody will find it and know that this is what happens.
But what if there's no new update? So what if between February 9 and this weekend, they will say, look, there's no real reason to be... Because, don't forget, on February 9, we knew that the place was Saperman. We knew it was fake currency and gold. And we also knew that there were a number of containers. Yeah. What we did not know was that there were some BOG boxes.
Yes.
That's the only thing we didn't know.
Yes.
But almost everything else that was brought this weekend was already known.
Yes.
So maybe they could have said, well, there was no new information.
But can I just say something before we got that even first update was not a great update. It was just we've caught these people, they showed us, and then it went silent. Like they should have done maybe not even a press release that this happened, this was the thing, like on the 10th or the 11th. That's all, so we know, because we just saw this update, we just saw videos, and then they went.
So they didn't give a comprehensive overview of the situation.
So even what you are saying, they didn't do it to start before, because if they had done that and we didn't get updates, that's very different. But there was no thing to start before.
There was no proper original briefing.
Yes.
So now the whole thing was when Intim Fojo starts making all this noise, and then adds this gold thing to his list of things and says, look, you are not the aircraft is suspicious. You have not told us what's happening with the gold and the fake currency, the 350 million cocaine. Government, what are you hiding?
You see, so when somebody decides to put that together and then create you that crucible of mayhem. It's a crucible of mayhem because
a crucible of mayhem.
Yes, because
you have spoken English.
Because you have refused to do. Listen, every time I tell you, look, and let us believe in this as a country that is growing.
Yes.
Certainty of process.
Okay.
I will not stop saying this on this platform that you have given me until all our institutions come to understand. So, for instance, Ghana Airport Company Limited.
Yes.
A plane develops a fault and lands for 5 days. I am sure there is a reporting line because aviation is not selling tomatoes at Kantamanto. Anything that flies and lands, you have to report to like 10 institutions.
Yes, please.
Both here and abroad. That would have been filed somewhere. So the moment that AirMed plane landed and had problems, I am sure it would have been filed somewhere. That publicly somebody could have verified on that same day. The Kavok that came to do same thing. So this problem, even on day one, Ghana Airport Company Limited, as an institution, could have solved that issue.
By putting something on the record
to
update us so that if somebody even goes to try and do mischief with it,
the
record would have been verifiable.
That, well, this is what it is.
So your point is that if they had to wait for somebody to make a suspicious claim, so even if I call Ghana Airport Company today, the answer will be tarnished because it's almost like he's trying to respond to. But if there was a place where a journalist can routinely go and check what type of plane landed and what it did, we could have all said, what's the Intim Fojo saying? This thing, according to the official record, this is what is this.
Yes. Why do you think that anytime, for instance, there is an incident with an Air Force plane anywhere in this country, within 20 or 30 minutes of it happening, within an hour, you see an agricultural statement?
Armed Forces, procedure.
They will explain, it will not have all the information.
They don't want to leave room for.
But they don't leave room for you to go and say that, hey, this plane or this helicopter.
Generally.
No, they don't leave room for that.
Yeah, you're right.
You can suspect
but
the
are
statement.
you sure that the airport company don't have anything publicly posted on these two aircraft
you see,
before this happened?
Hold on. The reason why it becomes difficult now is the government's response should not have been the government's response. This had nothing to do with the government.
Even though the MP made it in Parliament after a press conference, it was a high-profile accusation. No?
Yes, it's a high-profile accusation. Why does the government run the airport?
Generally, no, but they are in charge of them. They have a Ministry of Transport
that
see, regulates the airports.
We need to understand how systems work.
So the government shouldn't have even put his mouth in this.
No, I don't think they did.
But he said Ghana is becoming a cocaine state.
That was Intim Fojo, and the reason why a lot of people have taken him the language was not that of somebody who serves on that committee. And I would tell him if he wants to work on that committee, he needs to choose his words better. He needs to choose his words better. You don't say some of the things that you say just be. This is not Netflix.
Yeah.
You know.
But your point is that government could have allowed the airport company to respond to the specific issue of the plane.
They can explain
and
it
then the
away
government's
themselves.
response could have been on the more serious accusation about Ghana becoming.
Yes,
So
exactly.
you don't think Felix should have been the one going to the details, giving us the details of the flight.
What I was expecting was a Ghana Airport Company statement. AirMed International is a massive company. AirMed is not a small shop. It's a massive. It's called AirMed International. It's a massive company. Where's their statement on the matter?
So those would have actually been more believable at an early stage, you think?
Because AirMed simply has to tell you an AirMed flight on its way to ABCD got stuck here and needed support from this. Case closed. You see? So sometimes we ignore little things.
And then it becomes a big thing.
And then it becomes a big thing. And then we are all embroiled in 1 week of politics unnecessarily. It's been a waste of everybody's time, frankly. In Team Fojua and Felix and Co, they've wasted our time.
You think so?
The whole week. Yes, Bernard. You see,
but it's growing, because now there are 24 questions coming up to this morning.
Nobody wants
26.
to
26 questions.
Of what? What are they going to ask?
They said there are 26 questions about the thing.
About what?
Maybe they have more questions. They said
what?
the island the thing came from has things.
The Gran Canaria.
They said that place has plenty of problems. So that place, a Honda didn't feel any problem. The Gran Canaria, I know.
If that is it, we can do a lot of things with things on public radio.
They said 26 questions. They said because Gran Canaria before very deadly place.
We need to become a lot more serious.
Oh, Charlie.
Actually, Ahmed released a statement, Godfrey.
Wonderful.
When?
Yeah. So this was.
Thank you for that because I didn't see
when.
3rd April.
Oh, correct. Please read it for me.
So we stopped at KIA over maintenance issues. So Ahmed International response to drug trafficking allegations. So story says Ahmed International, an air ambulance and medical transport company, at the center of allegations made by Member of Parliament for Asin South, Reverend John Ntim Fojo, has clarified that its stop at Kotoka International Airport was due to maintenance issues, refuting any links to drug trafficking. Thank you. The global medical company stated that it made multiple fuel stops, including one at Kotoka International Airport, where it encountered problems. It was reported that a second aircraft carrying replacement parts, supplies, and technicians was dispatched and later arrived at KIA. Quote, upon landing in Ghana, the aircraft experienced maintenance issues and a second aircraft was dispatched with replacement parts, supplies, and technicians. Ahmed International Aircraft N823AM made multiple stops for fuel, including a stop at Kotoka International Airport. Now, Ahmed expressed confidence that their flights did not engage in any illegal activity as speculated. The company further stated that it has documentations and flight details to support its claims, emphasizing its certainty in being vindicated.
You recognize, though, that this was drowned
by.
And I think your point is still valid because you see, AirMed issues a statement on April 3, and honestly, on this table, if it wasn't that our producer had highlighted that there was a statement, we didn't have even known. That's number one. Because all of us also followed the minister's response. Number two, Ghana Airport Company too didn't issue a statement. They probably did, but again, it got drowned. And I think the point about, because you're right, if AirMed had issued a statement like we've seen now, Ghana Airport Company issues a statement, and even the minister doesn't get involved, it may not have even escalated to that point. Because sometimes the response is action and reaction are directly called an opposite. So the level of response, so I've seen Omanebo Ama post something on this. Then we had some NDC big shots also jumping on it. So it sort of raises the profile of the thing to a point where, like, wow, UN is like, hey, what's going on here? You get it? So if from AirMed I issued a simple statement, and then civil aviation or airport company had said that, look, there's nothing to this, and that people should verify before they put some things out, it would probably have downplayed it, and then it would have gotten sort of whatever. But now it's gotten to a point where like the weekend, every story, everybody was discussing it on all the front pages. And you are right, there's a way in which that tarnishes the country's image, even if it's not true. Because by the time you get to the bottom of it, most people don't read the details. And Christine was saying, look, we should not go back to where we were in the past, where Ghana was actually seen as a notorious hub. And that Ghana has passed that stage. But this type of reportage and this type of politicization of the drug issues can easily take Ghana back to that area. And I really think it's important we highlight the point that nobody benefits from giving Ghana a bad name. Which is why, again, I agree with Christian in that if you are also an interior committee, because of the privileged position you are in, the platform you choose to articulate your points.
Matters.
Do you get it? So he's saying he's a whistleblower. Some people say he's just cutting attention. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, where maybe he has some information which there could have been another way of putting out, but also because of the times you're in and the way the NPP wants to also do some politics, they decide to go all out with it. And then this is like, this guy has no facts, so let's also show him that he's a liar. Then it's all become, and NPP is now saying, no, let's not leave our guy to hang out in the drive. So let's come and support him. Do you get it? So it's escalating something which really should not get to this level.
My issue with this is that I feel like the logic of the whole discourse is faulty. In the sense that you see a drug bust happen and your conclusion is that drug trafficking is on the rise. What's the possible, like, how is that the conclusion? Because for all you know, the way these things work, maybe it's because enforcement has gotten better. Why are we not looking? You see, so I feel like even the way it was, the narrative that was created just didn't make sense to start to me. That's why I agree with Godfrey that has been a waste of time. But mine is a different issue. Like, how did we even get here? Why didn't the people who responded simply say that actually our enforcement efforts have gotten better? That's why we are doing it. Because that's a reasonable response if someone says, oh, you are catching people, so it's on their rise.
But I still don't forget that the president also tweeted, and that also probably added to this, because the president said he takes allegations
seriously.
Because the guy had claimed that the 2 aircraft potentially contained cocaine.
Yeah.
And the president said that he's going to ask the guy to cooperate with. Yeah. So that raises the profile.
Yeah. But you see, my whole thing was that the way the whole thing came out, I felt like the response, like you said, it felt disproportionate. Because if the guy said it, all the simple thing to do is that we can just argue, because right now it's become politics. Because they are not actually, because this discussion doesn't seem serious to me. Seriously, because how does it that a plane lands and your conclusion is that because the plane is coming from here, there's cocaine on the plane? Because
2 suspicious flights.
Do you understand what is the basis of his suspicion?
Is the country the country of origin of the plane?
Is that what we are going?
Place will not land in Ghana from Colombia.
No,
that's what we are going.
Because Colombia too has drugs.
No, place exactly. From Colombia to land in Ghana.
But it's also because of the coincidence of the 315 million. You see, this is what I'm saying, that there are three. You see, this is how news develops, and we also learn from this. 2 planes have arrived in a country from a place which has some reputation. It wasn't a public issue. It wasn't necessarily something you should highlight. Within that week, there was a report in the news about the authorities seizing a 350 million worth of cocaine.
$350 million
on the road to Cape Coast Takrady somewhere.
Almost 4 tons.
Yeah. So that's number 2. It happened within the same week. Then there was the February 9 gold.
Yeah.
Counterfeit.
So the MP then says, look, why are all these things happening at the same time? What's the government hiding? Ghana has become, so he's put the thing together and he's created.
I get it, but I'm talking about the plane part specifically. And the second thing that confused me is he saying that every private plane that lands, there's something. Because what's he trying to say about the private plane security at Kotoka? That people can just bring whatever they want on private planes. You see, if that's where we are going, we have a bigger problem than 2 planes coming with drugs. Because it means that anyone or anybody can just hire a private plane and do what they want in Ghana. So for me, the whole logic of the thing for me was just very weak.
Yeah.
And I felt like Godfrey said, this has spiraled into a situation it should not have spiraled into, because the whole thing just felt like he was just saying it, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have serious allegations of drug trafficking, it's not suspicious flights. You will say that this and this reason, this and this, there was a known drug trafficker on the plane.
When pressed him on this on CNR, he said he has more information that he released.
No, but I'm saying,
so Sanda actually wanted. So Sanda was
details
like,
that
Sanda was like, what else can you give me? And it was like, I will decide when I'll put it out.
But you see, once you start this way, you look like you are joking. because it's a very serious thing. It's not a TV show that you expose.
Which is why MPP is now saying that they will do a press conference.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's not a TV show that. It's
not.
You
have to answer this question.
No, but you see, it's not a TV show that you do some small, you hint at things, you be making some characters stand in the back, and they'll show him on their camera, and we later know it doesn't. This is serious matter. If you are saying that you are so concerned about the security of this country, why are you playing games with it? Bring all the evidence, show us what the issue, so we can say that this is the situation. Because if you had said, for example, this known drug trafficker was on this flight from Gran Canaria and he landed here.
Yes, that's a different.
That's a very different situation to some suspicious flight. Who was on the flight? You get what I'm saying? It's just the thing is so vague.
It's tenuous.
Yeah, like it just felt like there was a lot of holes in what he was saying.
Do you think generally the media coverage has contributed to the
Of
fact?
course.
Because what happens is that this is what we tend to do. And I blame all of us because sometimes when the issue breaks, we just want political voices to back our side. So in Team for you says something, put it out. Kwachi responds to put it out. So social media is like buzzing.
Yo, that one
so
is true.
instead of somebody coming to say, look, we've called the airport company, we've called the company AirMed, and this is not really. And by the way, when you do that, MPP guys say, you two are trying to protect the government. So a lot of media posts stay away from scrutiny, which actually was happening. So what tends to happen is that we basically report two sides of
an argument,
and then we go and sleep.
But we don't actually think about whether the argument is worth it.
And because we are afraid that they will say, we are taking one side, and because the politicians are so very carefully, they are very political. So a lot of media just reports what the two sides say, and depending on how it goes, let the public decide what they want to do in that confusion. You get, so I think part of it is our fault as well.
You know, but for me,
and to be fair to AirMed, because it's an ambulance, they probably don't want to say who was on board, what was happening, because it's an ambulance. You don't want to review certain information, but unless there's some information, like I said, he said he reviewed information, but I feel like I said, if he had reviewed some of these things which are so important earlier, we would be having a more intelligent discussion. Because right now we're just saying, why have we been talking about this?
Trust me, if we don't take care, this week will be dominated by more of this.
But that is why
because there's a press conference today.
Nobody should attend that press conference.
They will go.
See, Bernard, I want to be very clear. Intifojo was irresponsible with the power that he's been given. You see, if there was substance to the allegations that he was making, if he understands the chair that he sits in, that press conference is not what he would have done. Even in substantiating it and defending the position, and he's been very steadfast in doing it, but he's even taking a very light-hearted approach. He's been dropping quotes. If I wanted to do that, I would have dropped a hit song. Come on. Look, the business of governing a country, the business of overseeing the security of a country is in your hands. You don't take it and play political football with it to get yours. And where I sit, he saw an opportunity to become relevant for a week, and he took it. I mean him no disrespect. But he must be told in clear terms to be more responsible because, again, I look at the allegations that he's made and they're spurious. To make an allegation like that as a ranking member of one of the most important parliamentary committees that this country has, the threshold must be far higher
than what is put up.
Basically, he was gossiping. That is what he sat at that press conference and did, and then went on a media round to basically blow up his gossip. We should not allow politics to get us to the point where people we have entrusted a certain level of otherwise he doesn't understand the responsibility he has been given. Perhaps he's the wrong kind of person for the committee that he's on. I'm not saying he's a bad MP. I'm simply saying that the role that he has been given is one that requires a lot more discretion, a lot more tact and subtlety that he doesn't seem to have.
The conclusion that Ghana has become a cocaine hub on the basis of those three instances is it's like a very big jump.
You cannot make those conclusions from where he sits
without more
hardcore information. And look, if that is how he would treat information, so basically, I'm sure based on where somebody saw the plane, it had landed. He says, "Oh, okay, Honorable, I have seen some plane, it has landed." Look, even based on where he sits, he could have had access to more hardcore information if he really wanted to help. By making certain demands, he would get it. So he's the ranking member.
File an RTI or something
immediately
and get more information. And then when you put everything together, it will be more.
You see, because in the end, the questions one will ask: when did you hear of this? So would you say that your responsibility was to make sure that the cocaine was not transited, or your responsibility was to make claims that Ghana is a cocaine hub? Because if you are on the security and interior, on the defense and interior committee, and you have information that a plane has landed and is potentially carrying drugs, what do?
You call the
intelligence community, you call police and make sure that those drugs don't make it off. The human beings are arrested, and then you can organize your press conference and say that this is what I heard, these are the actions I took, and Ghana needs to be careful.
Yeah, that would have been a better approach.
That is a better approach. That shows somebody who understands what he's been given. But what Intim Fodjo did, for those who have been praising him and whatnot, where I sit, I am grossly disappointed in what he did. And he needs to be told. He's been very irresponsible. The MP people can hail him. They can clap for him because he's giving them something to run on for a week, which is why we're having a press conference with 26 questions. And again, I ask myself, if this is what leads to 26 questions, I really want to hear those 26 questions. And the person who sat down and wrote those 26 questions too, he will look at you and think of you in a certain manner.
But you haven't seen the questions.
No, but Bernard, there is, from what you said, what 26 questions can be derived from this logic? They should think about it themselves. Look, they should hold themselves to a higher standard. We are tired.
Hold up, let me bring in some comments, Bernard. Oh, you said the songs you could out for.
Them waste them a time. When you talk about me, I go shine. My body don't be only me where you they try. When I get shot, I wanna be some different guy. But see, she make a tell them the life. Where we they live for street, no be lies. If your woman says she love my style, it's about time me for the service guy, my guy. Ayo, I bring you back here. Guess I need a moko. Ayo, Obi has to run, nobody go beat up. We they kill our future. Ayo, I bring you back here. Guess I need a moko. Ayo. No never talk say shut up be good always I be bad for win award for just being me. No be today when we start this thing. Then they die when I say I be the dancehall king. But I know say then me like my thing. Make I repeat them again, nobody can stop me. My mind that they use high time key. In your blood, face when me just save. Nobody can never tie me. Oh no, you to juju. Try mo, ya be tutu. Ya is the gominchi of voodoo. Oh no, you to juju. I'm a baby if you to my kutu. Can't wait, bear me foot to my.
So read a few quick comments on this, and then we will see where the chips leave us. It's 9:20.
Yeah.
And this is the City Breakfast Show. Lots of things.
These are earlier comments on the deportation. Aldo from New Bawe says, Bernard, on the quiet deportation of foreigners, including Chinese illegal miners without prosecution, I'm confused as to whether we have different laws in Ghana that are applicable to only Ghanaians and another for foreigners who commit the same crimes in Ghana. We need answers. Alvinho from Akosombo says, why are you surprised by the Interior Minister? Didn't Ghana sign an agreement with America that prevents American citizens from facing prosecution in Ghana? You ask. Kofi Ntema says, political leadership in Ghana is a scam. I vividly remember the sort of things the NDC said about Dr. Osafo Mafo on his infamous comments on the deportation of Aisha Wan. I've been disappointed in President Mahama and his government on the fight against Galamsey. Dedeko Silati from Asimfosu says, China is not interested in how we handle crime in our country. So if we decide to play saints with the Chinese when we catch them destroying our beloved country, that's up to us. Duke from Enum Apepem says, good morning. If deportation of these foreigners is going to be the solution, believe me, Ghana should brace ourselves for an exodus of Chinese illegal mining migrants, because the orientation is going to be that at worst they will be merely deported. Courage says, this particular story has been a complete waste of everyone's time. As simple as that, and it is referring to Reverend Intim Fodjo's story and its relations to drug trafficking and money laundering. Effelben from Indawonu says deportation camps with certain orders like barred from Ghana for certain number of years. In the UK, it is 10 years, and you can re-enter only by permission from the Secretary of State. Being persecuted comes with an inconvenience that can be punitive. The latter should be the best option, you say. Akpoka in Sakena says, I think the Chinese and other foreigners caught in Galamsey must suffer imprisonment, thereafter deportation. This is because deportation is too soft and most of them can easily return to continue with the illegality. These are some comments that have come through.
Yeah, so later on we have, I think we'd leave that real discussion for a different day. I've been trying to respond to road users on an update on the Nsawam of Angkor Road, but this morning, what would you call it? You call it a concoction? You use some English.
A crucible of mayhem.
He has created a crucible of mayhem with this cocaine matter. A few more comments, Caleb, before we go to our interview.
Pajo says, you can't say as a mechanic you didn't know. That's aiding and abetting. You went to fix a machine in the forest. Ordinary man's test. Would an ordinary man think that the machines are Galamsey machines? Farmer Lex in Kasua says, what seems to be overlooked is the cost involved in prosecuting the foreigners. Therefore, opting for deportation instead of prosecution saves both state funds and time. Jones Aduboy says, simple and short, he who alleges must prove. You can't just for a cheap political interest throw any kind of allegation without any shred of truth and get away with it. Joe says, Bernard, please, is it enough for someone to just make such a huge accusation without giving any evidence and just ask the security agencies to investigate? Even when state agencies give what they have done, you say it's untrue, but still don't give any evidence. Please, let's be sincere to Ghana for once. That's Joe to Reverend Intim Fojo. Jesse from Sakumono says, Bernard, good morning. The comments attributed to the Interior Minister is erroneous. He mentioned specifically illegal logging and fraud as well as scams as the offences for which they will repatriate foreigners involved. There was no mention of illegal mining or Galamsey.
Even if he said no.
Jesse,
please.
The man mentioned illegal mining.
Even if it didn't, the foreign minister mentioned illegal mining and also said they were deporting people for same. So please.
No, but Muntaka said illegal mining.
So I don't know why Jesse is coming from.
I just wanted to bring in something quick as to what China does when they are deporting someone who they found engaged in illegal activities
in their country.
In their country. So foreign nationals found guilty of illegal entry, illegal residence, or working illegally in the country may be repatriated and will not be allowed to re-enter China for a 5-year period. Now, foreigners who violate China's laws and regulations and are deemed unsuitable to stay will be given an exit deadline to depart voluntarily. Those who commit severe violations that do not constitute crimes may be deported and not allowed to enter the country again for a 10-year period. The new law further states that people who assist in such illegal acts will also be punished. So on a deportation, I think it will be important we document things and get to know more. In terms
so clearly,
of
we will need to hear more.
Yes.
We need to hear more from Muntaka about this. So whether it's illegal mining, illegal logging, or fraud scams, why are they being deported and not being prosecuted? It's a big question for the week. And then, of course, there are the 26 questions that Godfrey says we don't need to even hear.
But you see, here's another thing.
Yes.
The reason this is an opportunity for Muntaka. If he doesn't come and explain this,
somebody can also use it to do something.
Next month or two, Wahala will pies in some corner.
Yes.
We will end up here.
Because somebody
will then come and explain.
Somebody will be deported and the person may find himself back in the country. And you are right. You are right. You are right.
He Muntaka then will come, somebody will play.
So when you have you have a good chance to explain. Don't wait. Then when the thing becomes like when it becomes a
crucible of mayhem.
And you know the truth is even if you are doing something that's not sensible and you're the first to explain, you've taken the sting out of anything someone else is coming to do. That's the truth. And if we know that politics is part of it, just come and take the sting out of whatever you are doing very early.
But it's
very
very
avoid
important, very important for them to back this up, because for me, on the face of it, I think it's a very bad policy based on what I have. Of course, they may have more information. And also the shift in position.
Yes.
Because if it was wrong for Aisha 1 to have been deported without being prosecuted, why is it right now? Okay, what has changed? And we need to have that clarity and consistency. All right? And that's the way to also blow away the politics. So let's be consistent. Let's be consistent. So there needs to be some proper information from government on this. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be doing some couple of interviews. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. Don't go away.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the banco.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Hi, Mom, it's me, Kwame.
Hey, Kwame. How are you?
Mom, I'm fine, oh.
Okay.
You know something?
No, tell me.
I'm looking for a complete furniture set for my new place.
Kwame, I've told you before, the only one place you should go, eh?
Yeah, Mom, but I need a mattress to fit my bed.
Ash foam.
I need a bed to fit my room.
Ash foam.
What about a sofa where go relax my body?
Ash foam.
Wardrobes to fit all my clothes?
Ash foam.
What about linens and pillows for sweet dreams?
Kwame. Ash foam.
Mommy, that I feel you. Ash foam all the way.
For mattresses to beds, sofas, wardrobes, linens, pillows, and more, don't waste time and visit any Ashfoam showroom across the country or call our hotline at 0243 200 729. Ashfoam. Feel it, know it.
Dear home, no interest for 2 years. Are you ready to step into your dream home? With Lakeside Estates' exclusive offer, you can own your own home in just 2 years with no interest payment. This offers you affordable payments, flexible home purchase plan, quality homes, and lifestyle change. Choose from a variety of beautiful homes in any of Lakeside Hills clusters. Your future awaits you. Imagine living in a home you love with the freedom to invest in your dreams without the burden of interest. As your CIMG Real Estate Company of the Year for the 4th time, we offer you hassle-free home acquisition. Call us today on 020-477-5043 or 020-477-5042. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Call us now to learn more and schedule a tour for our available homes. T&C supplied. Make your dream a reality. Lakeside Estate. Quality homes for all.
Ever wondered why the finest treasures of Africa feel like hidden secrets? The craftsmanship, the passion, the untold stories. Well, Ghana, the wait is over. Afro quality is here. Afro quality is your destination for the finest collection of African products. From beautifully crafted, ready-to-wear clothes, organic skincare products, bags, shoes, and fashion accessories. All made in Africa and curated from Ghana to Kenya, Rwanda to South Sudan, South Africa to Nigeria, and all over the continent. Every item is made for those who value the best. Find us in East Legon on the American House Road on top of Say Cheers. Visit at afroquality.com on Instagram or TikTok or 053-33-92345. Afro Quality, because you deserve the finest.
The Accra Healing and Deliverance Crusade is here.
God takes his people and put them in charge.
Ministering Dr. Pastor Paul and Becky Eninche, all the way from Glory Dome in Abuja, Nigeria. The Dominion, date 10th and 11th of April 2025. Venue, El-Wak Sports Stadium. Song ministration, Emoji, Ankalato, Kofi Boham, Prophet Okebe, Prosper Otimana, and Minister Mark Frank. Also happening live is the Workforce and Ministers Conference, happening at the Accra International Conference Center at 9 a.m. on the 11th of April. Free shuttles to the venue will be available. For more information, call 0257-765-546. The Accra Healing and Deliverance Crusade. Be there.
Unbelievable is yours to own with DSTV. Get unbelievable local entertainment with Shaka Lemba, Nigerian Idol, and Big Brother Niger.
Some forgettable night.
Catch unbelievable sporting moments from the Premier League, La Liga, F1, and more.
Absolutely sensational.
Laugh along with unbelievable kids edutainment like Paw Patrol. And experience unbelievable international shows like Law and Order and Lioness Special Ops.
Let's go!
Download the My DSTV app today and own the unbelievable.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
All right, now, if you're tired of HR headaches, simplify your business with Hot Jobs Africa, your one-stop shop which handles recruitment, labor outsourcing, expatriate management, consultancy service, and corporate training. We also offer staff busing and 100% staff support to boost productivity. Don't let HR hassles hold you back. Contact Hot Jobs Africa today for more information. Now, you can reach us in a number of ways. You can send an email to info@hotjobsafrica.com. That's number one. You can call 0303-980-362. You can also WhatsApp 0204-336-004. You can also visit our website, hotjobsafrica.org, for more information. Hot Jobs Africa, think HR, think Hot Jobs Africa.
And if you're looking for an easy way to manage your business finances, Build Financial Technologies is the trusted platform for businesses across Africa, effortlessly handling invoicing, payments, and payroll with secure advanced encryption. Save time, reduce costs, and enjoy live support with local integrations. Visit www.build.africa, download our app, or call 0308 040007 today. Build, do more with less stress.
Yes, indeed. So 9:34. Let me remind you again of this conference that's happening. It's a 2-day program, 9th and 10th of April, Abadi Beach Hotel. Proving strategies for global cyber executives, managing or maximizing organizational security and efficiency is the theme for this very important program, the CISO Summit 2025. We have in studio Albert Texan, he's the Chief Business Officer for Innovari, Christabel Na Chuchu. Is it Lami? Lami. Programs coordinator for the event, Maxwell Suman, country manager for Platview Technologies. Gentlemen and lady, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Good morning.
Thank
So Albert, you're the CBO for Innovari, who are organizing this Chief Information Security Officer Summit. So talk to me about this upcoming 2025 CISO Summit, and what is this about? Who's going to answer that?
Christabel wants to do that.
Okay, you want to do that?
Thank you very much. Greetings to your lovely audience.
Wonderful.
All right. So the CISO Summit, which is Chief Information Security Officer Summit, is a specialized event for professionals in cybersecurity and then information security. So these people are from variety of industries. They come together to have high-level discussions and then talk about the challenges and the threats, and this will be led by expert leaders in the cybersecurity ecosystem. They also share invaluable insight, and then they come up with some solutions that professionals can look up to help in maximizing organizational strategies and efficiencies in their companies. So this year it's still going to be 2 days, happening at Labadi Beach on the 9th and 10th from 8 to 5 each day. Yes, so we are looking at target audience of chief technology officers, chief technology and innovation officers, chief information officers, chief information security officers, cybersecurity professionals, and then aspiring CISOs as well.
Okay, so let me then find out from Albert who some of the speakers are and what the theme, the focus for this year is.
Okay, so this year's theme is Proven Strategies for Global Cyber Executives, Maximizing Organizational Security Efficiency.
Okay.
I'll take that again. Proven Strategies for Global Cyber Executives, Maximizing Organizational Security Efficiency. So this year we have quite a lineup of speakers and special guests. And if you permit me, I'd just like to mention a few of the special guests before I go to the speakers.
Sure.
So we will be having Mr. Divine Selassie Agbeti, who is the Director General for the Cybersecurity Authority.
Okay.
And I would like to say that we are very excited for this partnership because the Cybersecurity Authority is the regulator for this cybersecurity industry, and they have been part of us from the inception, from the first edition, and this is the third edition of CISO Summit. Yes. We also have Trevor Isiak, who is the director for Kite Global in Malta. So he's flying in. He will be giving the keynote address at this year's event.
Right.
We also have Shai Zarivach, who is the head of Africa and Middle East Foreign Trade Administration at the Israeli from Israel.
Okay.
We're also partnering with the Economic and Trade Missions of Israel here in Ghana under the Embassy of Israel here. So they are facilitating for Shai to join us.
Okay.
We also have James Parker, who's the chairman for International System Security Certification Consortium, ISC Squared. This is an international organization that specializes in training and certification of cybersecurity professionals. And then for our speakers, we would be having the likes of Mr. Nijan Mensah, who's from Innovari. He's the principal consultant at Innovari for cybersecurity. We also have Mr. Dapo, Christopher
Salami.
Dapo Salami, who's the CEO of Platview, and I'm sure Maxwell will speak about his boss very soon. We also have Mr. Desmond Israel. Desmond is a cybersecurity professional and also a lawyer.
Okay.
Yes. And then we have
a whole lot more people.
We have Wahab Adams of Holland. We have Francis Cher. He's Ghanaian but based in Europe, so he works with.
So what are some of the things that we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes. So, so for instance, we would have topics such as the cybersecurity landscape in Western Africa.
All right.
We're also going to be discussing cyber risk quantification, translating cyber risk into business language.
All right.
We'll also, and I'm sure we all know that AI is a very topical issue. We're definitely having a topic. We'll be having a panel discussion on AI automation and the future of threat intelligence.
Okay.
Yes.
Christopher has already told us who some of your target audiences are. So let me come to Maxwell to tell us. You're a partner in this enterprise. So tell us a bit more about your company
and the role you will be playing in this summit.
So thank you very much, Bernard. Thank you, Caleb. So as a partner, we believe that cybersecurity is a shared effort by industry leaders. And we thought that the CISO Summit is the right opportunity to bring in our knowledge. As a business, we believe that we lead by service. You know, wherever we are doing business in, we ensure that we deliver to the last mile. And this opportunity affords us, you know, to bring our expert over more than 10 years in the industry across Nigeria, across Liberia, across Sierra Leone and other parts of the continent, bringing it together so that we can be able to, you know, from the Cybersecurity Authority's approach to ensure we have a safe digital Ghana. We bring that expertise and then we share knowledge so that we can be able to achieve that. So that is the reason why we are here as a partner. And as a partner also, what we do is we have cybersecurity services and solutions that cut across various layers of security. And we are there to be able to help, you know, our partners and business people to be able to find the right solution to their cybersecurity needs. So that is why we are here as a partner to this.
That's good to know. So what does this collaboration mean to you as a business and partners?
Okay, so thank you very much. So like I mentioned, you know, cybersecurity is not a one-person approach. It's become so critical that we need to collaborate as an industry, to be able to ensure that we are securing our nation. And I'm sure by now you're aware that cybersecurity is not an IT headache alone. It's a business need. So we want to be part of this. We are part of this engagement. We were part last year, and this year also we are here to ensure that we are bringing all the expert advice we have, all the collaboration we have with industry, all the knowledge we can share to make sure that at the end of the day our nation is safeguarded. One of the things we do very well is to help in the area of fraud. So it's one of the areas we're going to talk about. We are seeing escalating trends in fraud cases, even here in Ghana. Financial fraud and all sort of fraud. And we believe that with the shared knowledge solutions that is available, we are able to help our business partners to be able to safeguard against fraud. So that is why we're here.
So it's a summit. So beyond the discussions, will there be any exhibitions? Will you be showcasing any products or services or solutions at the event?
Yes.
Yes.
So we'll have, we have demo sessions for some of our solutions. A typical one, what we call Prospect, is a financial risk resolver that helps financial businesses or industry to be able to stop fraud in their tracks. Even before after the event. So we'll showcase that. We have other solutions that we'll showcase. I believe there are other partners who will also be there.
Yes. So Platview is definitely a major partner for CISO Summit. Like you mentioned, they've been with us from last year. And we have other partners as well who will be having exhibitions in the foyer of the event hall. So I would like to just mention a few of our partners. Economic and Trade Missions to Ghana, Embassy of Israel. Definitely Innovari Limited. Innovari is our mother company and a cybersecurity company as well. So we will also have them doing an exhibition. The Cybersecurity Authority, the Institute of ICT Professionals, IIPGH. We're also having PwC coming through, Kites Global, Digital Solutions from Dubai, 0800 Africa, MTN, Enterprise Computing Limited, and Multi-Thread ICT Limited. All of these companies are partnering with us, and we thank them for their support and for believing in this event.
All right.
Right. So let's talk about some of the products, services, and solutions that we'll be showcasing at the event, shall we?
Okay. So for a lot of these partners, they are service providers and solution providers in the cybersecurity industry. So we're going to be having some of the hardcore cybersecurity technology solutions. We're also going to be having persons who are service provided, who provide various implementations.
So all of that will be happening alongside.
Yes.
Okay. So finally, where can listeners go to learn more about the 2025 CISO Summit and register to attend, Christabel?
All right. So they can visit the website www.thecisosummit.com or they can contact 057-2760-472. For more information.
And this is happening on the 9th and 10th of this month. So that's Wednesday and Thursday.
Yep.
Wonderful. Thank you. We've been speaking to Albert Texan, CBO of the Innovari, Event Director for CISO 2025, Christabel Natutu Lamy, Programs Coordinator for the event, and Maxwell Suman, Country Manager for Platview Technologies, who are partnering to organize the second CISO Summit.
Third, actually.
All right, cool. So any final comments?
Yes. So I just forgot to mention that it's also a paid event. So for the 2 days, it's 5,000 Ghana cedis. But we have group discounts available for companies that register 3 or more persons. And finally, I'd like to say that we'd like to invite all stakeholders in this industry. CISO Summit seeks to bring together stakeholders, the general stakeholders from the practitioners to the service providers to even the regulators. So this is a platform that you definitely need to be part of if you want to be taking away some great stuff at this event. And then finally, I would like to also congratulate Innovari, who just over the weekend won the Outstanding Cybersecurity Company of the Year at the Ghana Corporate Finance Awards. And just last month also won Cybersecurity Company of the Year, Ghana FinTech Awards. So just to say congratulations to the team. Thank you.
So you can go to the CISOSummit.com or call 057-276-0472. That's 057-276-0472 to secure your spot at this event today.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Babe, trust me. I've seen bigger, wider.
How big?
So big.
Hey! Friday, 11th April is the official launch of the new So Big Electromart showroom, Atomic Junction. Come, turn on the modern life.
Kids, no running. They grow up so fast.
Come here, guys. Who wants to watch their favorite show on GoTV?
Your family's favorite moments are made better with GoTV's shows. We've got loads of local, international, and kids channels, and all the football you need from the comfort of your home.
You can also watch your favorite shows wherever you are with GoTV Stream. Stick with GoTV and let's go together. GoTV. Love it.
As a busy professional, I struggled with back and neck strain from long hours at my desk. To improve my focus, productivity, and well-being, I sought expert advice from the CEO of Expert Office Furnish.
After being in the furniture business for 25 years, I can tell you two things that causes back pain in the workspace: bad sitting posture and not sitting on a good chair. I recommend to you the Genevia Beeper chair, the chair that helps you to sit right. When you don't sit right, it beeps for you to be able to sit right. The next will be the Enjoy chair. It takes every body shape and size. Buy a chair that will support your back and give you that comfort to be able to deliver on your job.
Expert Office Furnish offers molding furniture for comfort, productivity, and style. From seating to customized solutions, plus interior decoration services, they've got it all. Find them off the Atomic Hills Estate Road in Ashonman or call 0571 386602 on Facebook and Instagram at Expert Office Furnish.
Hey, so what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It'd be a very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement, unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244-313-368 or 0540-111-978 or 0202-021-175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
For free. Provident Insurance Bama Quentway on the set. If you January equals March 2025. What the insurance one some shop Provident Insurance and sa. Some renew and now we are for Penya Chadia P. Fuel coupons and the Provident Souvenirs Papa B. And to watch when they and WhatsApp assistant or buy and chat is here 024-242-6396. Obeso to out over to me Swakwa and 15 branches. Yet to a particular and mobile. Over to me Sunny brokers and I agents in the mobile this was. Janami and Sunny na Provident Insurance as some Ghana man some power Makonia Badi wa Wabambo Massa special for you for Kaisan Shaka
With Provident, man, you're covered.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
African is rich and not poor. Prove to the world that when the African is given a chance, he can show to the world that he's somebody. Prove it where you waiting, we shall no more go back to sleep anymore. Today from now on, that is the new African in the world.
Many days I'm counting, still not in the right. No. Plenty pledges and promises, I assume I'll be life. Tell me you go keep my picking good education, but tell me if the future is bright. We know they care about your big English, big grammar, know they pay bills and now. See we get him off, but we can't talk. People are homeless, them they build church. Ghana down the disco. You go get the certificate, but no job. Big man hoes for the road talk. Say then go fix some, then go patch some. I see plenty load with the sit up car. I can now cooler when the youth ball. Joe boy. Joe boy, my people they suffer, my people they cry, but you know they care. Get the time I look Joe boy, Joe boy, my people they suffer.
All right, I think I have some 9 minutes to bring you some updates on the Ofankor road. So let me go that straight. So Chief Resident Consultant on the Ofankor Nsawam Highway Engineer Samuel Bimpong has been speaking on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily program on the state of the project. You know, this project had stalled for lack of funds. Joe Duncan pressed him on when the project would restart, and here are excerpts of that conversation.
For the past 3 or 4 months, the contractor had not been working.
What were the reasons?
He claims that he doesn't have
mobilization.
No mobilization, he's been mobilized. So
No,
far
as
as
in to come back
so far
again.
as we are concerned, as consultants,
Yeah.
we certify work done. Once we certify where we sit, we assume that it's been paid because there's no part of the contract which says that when you have not been paid for, let's say, up to 30 days, you have to stop work.
Yeah.
There are processes by which you
So for
take
4
to
months, the contractor wasn't on
Well,
site.
the good news is that, and this is something, that is why I even came here, because I wouldn't have ordinarily come to talk about
Share with us the
The
good
good
news.
news is that we had a certificate, the minister and even the president himself, and you heard all of us saying that, look, we are not going to abandon projects which have already been started, and someone would think that because it was started by the previous government, governance is a continuum. And the good news is that the Minister for Roads and Highways, governs Abuja, was on site himself, and he had seen it. He had called us. He had made sure that.
So
we
the
told him-
assurances.
Well, the other day I saw in the news that he says that he has sorted out the contractor. So once the contractor is sorted, and I've also seen the evidence. Last week, the contractor came back to site and started, placing concrete in the.
So it speaks to the goodwill of this new administration to work to ensure it.
Of course.
This has generated so much interest, right? A lot of messages are coming in.
Yeah.
But still on the point, just for clarification, are you saying that there's the green light to go ahead for the construction of the footbridge?
Well, not specifically. Not specifically.
There's order for the demolition of the Festus Hotel.
There's no order. The request by or they prayed to the court for an injunction. Okay, that injunction wasn't granted. If it wasn't granted, even though the court has not said that we should go and demolish, by extension, it means that we can continue with what we started 2 years ago.
Do you have revised timelines for the project itself and specifically on the footbridges? 3 out of 10 doesn't look good. When should we expect that this will be done? And for the project in itself, share with us the timelines that you have, the revised timelines you have.
So the contractor was given an extension of time up to July 2025.
Okay.
For the past 4 months, nothing has happened. It doesn't look likely that with the amount of work that is outstanding, you will be able to complete by July. So there's a need for us to go back. Now that funds have started flowing, we expect that there will be continuous work. And if there's continuous work, from where I sit, I believe that even if we give him probably another 8-9 months after the July deadline, he should be able to complete the work. Because as I've always maintained, the heavy lifting has been done. The bridges, apart from the Nsawam Bridge, most of them are over 90% complete. The culverts are done. The retaining walls are completed. The earthworks, by and large, mostly are also completed. So when we talk about asphalt or what we call the pavement works, they just go very, very fast. A day you can do 2 kilometers. So that is where I have my. And from Monday, tomorrow, we should see the contractor back to site. And the challenge that you raised about flooding, yes, it is because we have our U drains, even though it is not up to 30-40%, but you have to build the road up to the level where the rains that come or the water that falls onto the road will be discharged into the U drains. Until that happens, then I'm sorry we will have to.
Can you give us assurances as to when the road furniture will be done, right? So the guardrails, the road signs, at least temporarily. I know you need to fix a lot of it permanently when the road is complete.
Sure.
But in the interim, right, as a stopgap measure, can you give us any assurances when some of these very important road furniture, i.e. guardrails, signage and all of that will be done? Street lights?
No, street lights, I cannot guarantee that because
road markings,
comes with a certain infrastructure.
Engineer, you
road
agree
line
that
marking,
street lighting, it's it's very important, right?
It is.
Visibility at night. Yeah. So, like I'm saying, temporary.
Maybe where there are crossings. Where they are crossing, but along the route, that
maybe you can liaise with the Greater Accra Regional Minister. She's embarking on a very ambitious project to light up the city, especially at night.
That is not the.
Yeah, but I'm saying
that it doesn't work that way.
But but we also can't keep people in that situation, right? So we should find a way to at least temporarily ease the pressure.
Now you realize that we've installed some of the street lights. Maybe what we can do
so you can do a lot more
on the to ensure that whatever we have currently, are lighted.
And the road markings.
Road markings
temporarily.
Okay.
I'm pushing the thing too much.
Because we've done only 25% of the binder, and I'm even pushing the contractor that when I say binder, we have 2 layers of asphalt. We've done the first one, it's left with the second one, and it's the second one that will even bring us to the level where we can.
So any timelines for the road furniture and the street lights?
The street furniture, as you have,
will be keeping you to your word.
Within the next few days, we should see some improved, because those are part of the safety requirements of the road. So if some have been stolen or again, we have many other challenges, but that's not. Yes.
People are stealing your things on the project
Oh my goodness,
site.
my brother. Even the Pokwasi interchange that was completed, where we have street lights. For a long time they were not working. It's only recently that I don't know who did it, but then they started, because people have gone and cut all the cables.
Unbelievable.
They've cut the cables. These guardrails that you're talking about, they've stolen them. You've done a report. Even as I speak to you now, if you go, the ones that we
2 days ago, we reported about some.
I saw it.
Carry.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
They've stolen them.
But engineer, thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
And we are so grateful that you could join us to share insights into this, right?
If I can have some last words for pedestrians and motorists alike. Whilst from our side, we would want to ensure safety of the road, we recognize that we all have to be cautious when we are crossing the road. And there have been situations where we have traffic wardens who will stop traffic for pedestrians to cross. Then you can have a driver who would use the shoulder, speeding across.
So driver behavior is also...
Driver behavior is, it's a challenge. At the point, we try to block the shoulders so that they keep to the number of the lanes, so that somebody who is crossing will know that naturally you don't expect that somebody would overtake stopped vehicles. There have been situations that
there are concerns about the China Mall area. They say crossing the road is very difficult.
Again, it's all part of the issues that we're talking about that we've not completed. But then with the China Mall area, I think that the challenge that we had there was the fact that we didn't provide these pedestrian crossings everywhere. So there are some areas where there are no pedestrian crossings. But then when it's completed, one would expect that you move to the next crossing to be able to do the next.
Engineer Samuel Bimpong speaking to Joe Duncan. So the good news is that they will start work again today. We'll monitor that because it's a project that's generated a lot of concern by road users from Insawam all the way through to Afanko to Achimota. Well, that's how we choose to end today's edition of the City Breakfast Show. Thank you, Godfrey. Thank you, Susu. And then, of course, thank you, Caleb. Coming up next is City News at 10, after which we have a branch in the city. Shiba Arabening has the news. Good morning, Shiba.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello and welcome to